is the day without football.
Yes, this is the worst day of the week during football season, and it's not even close.
I mean, it's waiver wire Wednesday, so hopefully you got your waiver wires settled in your fantasy football teams. But,
you should have Devin A-Chain, Tank Dell, and it's Josh Palmer season, baby!
Oh, good Lord.
Oh,
Josh
it's time.
Palmer.
It's time.
No, it's Simi Fahoku season. That's what it is. Yeah.
No.
Kellen Moore, they just went out and picked up Simi Fahoku.
That's fine. He's not good at football. Hey, it's cool.
Hey,
You're the
that
sixth receiver.
You remember that time you tried to tell me about Jalen Guyton? Yeah, that's not good news for him.
No, it is not.
Welcome into the Wednesday edition of the Sportsocracy. It is, we used to call this the quarter poll, but it's not really anymore when it's 17 games, but week 4 of the NFL season, you get a good picture of where everybody's at. So we're gonna talk some surprises and letdowns so far in the first quarter of the NFL season, quarter-ish of the NFL season. Also, your college football power ranking coming up in the 4 o'clock hour of the program. We'll have a daily draft later on today as well, and just cover all of the bases here. And
we refuse to talk about
not doing it.
Those two who shall not be named.
Don't say your name. Don't do it.
Nope. I'm not doing. I'm the one that put it on conversation probation. We're not doing it.
Allergic. Not doing it. Not doing it.
No. We're also not going to talk about that other name.
Nope, not him. Nope, not doing his name either.
No, it's awesome. Awesome. You want to play for the although I do feel like I need to be able to rant about that for 2 or 3 minutes later in the show.
But why?
Because the disingenuousness of it really irritates me.
The disingenuousness? The disingenuosity? Maybe?
Nope.
No, that's not a word. Disingenuousness that doesn't sound like a word.
I'm not sure if it's a word or not. I don't know. I'm going to level with you. Jeremy took a sleeping pill last night, and I don't think it's worn off yet.
Oh,
so
interesting.
There's that.
There is.
I have not really been able to function at a high level all morning long.
All morning long. Hey, one thing not sports related that I did want to bring up to you is that last night Tank saw a movie, and you have to see it if you haven't seen it yet. It's called The Machine. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Yeah. You want me to tell you something funny about that? We didn't talk about this before the show.
Yeah.
I watched it last night, too.
Did you really?
Yeah, I watched it last night, too.
It's amazing what we'll get into when there is no football going on. We watched The Machine last night, the Bert Kreischer story, which is phenomenal. I thought it was great.
I thought it was quite possibly the most awful movie I've ever seen in my life.
Come on, man.
I mean, look, I love Bert. I love Bert to death. That was the pug of movies. It was so ugly, it was cute.
Why?
Oh, it was awful.
No.
Oh, that movie
was fine.
Awful.
I thought it was fine.
Now, it was funny if you like Bert.
Mm-hmm.
But just like a random, hey, we made a movie.
Well, why else would you watch that movie unless you're familiar with The Machine?
Because Netflix went, hey, this is the #1 thing you should watch on television.
And it was.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was. It was great. Don't you take that away from me.
I hate Mark Hamill.
We got to see Luke Skywalker high on drugs, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I hate his face. I hate everything about Mark Hamill.
Why?
Oh, he's the worst.
Just because he's Space Bears? Is that why?
Or is it?
No, it's because he's the Joker. That's why.
He's Space Bears. He's the worst Joker.
Stop.
His Twitter account makes me want to pull my hair out at the root. Yeah, there are no two people on this planet that are less simpatico than Mark Hamill and me.
Wow, I did not figure
he would hate me as much as I hate him. I promise.
I did not figure you for a Mark Hamill hater.
Really?
That's interesting.
Do you know anything about him?
No.
Do you know anything about me?
Luke Skywalker. He's a phenomenal voice actor with the Joker movies or the Batman animated series and movies. And what else do I need to know about him? Stop paying attention to people's personal choices, okay?
Yeah,
I don't care what you think about politics. I know that's where this
awful.
is going, isn't it?
That's part of it, yeah.
Oh, gosh. There's Red Dead Revolver over there. Just can't enjoy things.
Can we call me that moving forward? Because I'm totally fine with that.
I think we should.
Of all the names I get called on a daily basis, Red Dead Revolver would be 1, 2, 4 on my list of ones I actually like.
I recommend The Machine, especially if you are a Burt Kreischer fan. It's a pretty good movie, I thought. I thought he did a great job.
Oh, he was great. There was some horrifically bad acting.
I really enjoyed the story, too. You know, that was the backstory of the Machine story from his stand-up jokes about his trip to Germany and joining
Russia.
the mafia, or joining the Russian mafia when he was 20 years old or whatever it was. And then it was the follow-up to them chasing him down because he stole something from them.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I thought it was great.
It was fun. I do find it funny that we spoke maybe 20 words to each other before these cameras turned on.
And that was the
And
first
Mike
thing I
turned
said.
on. That was the first thing you said because I was going to do that later in the show.
Well, welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Sportsocracy. The first question that we have in the YouTube comments today comes from Andrew Ayers, who says, do you think that Devin Achan is going to be better than Raheem Mostert?
It's not that he'll be better. I just don't trust Raheem Mostert to stay healthy because he never has.
Yeah, the main
That's
thing,
the reason I was screaming from the rooftops. You should go pick up Devin Achan because when Raheem Mostert gets hurt, and he will, then he's the guy.
right?
I do. I'm glad you mentioned that. There was a question on Dan Patrick. This is a Wednesday during football season. There's not really an A story. We've got a, like Travis Kelce's dating life. We got a slew of B's. She might be an A-lister, but she's not a A-lister.
Right.
There was a question on Dan Patrick that's been rattling around in my head, and I don't know the answer to it.
Okay.
All right, so every single year when the last team to be defeated is defeated, the 72 Dolphins come together and they crack champagne, and they're – what if that team is the Dolphins? Are they still going to celebrate?
Yeah,
I don't agree with you.
They'll still crack champagne.
I don't agree with you, and let me tell you why. They know somebody else is going to do it. If we do this long enough, eventually some team is going to be undefeated. We've already had one. They just lost in the Super Bowl. Why would they want it to be anybody other than the Dolphins? This is the only shot you're going to have at that. I mean, even New England, as great as they were, they had one crack at this. You got a team that's this good with a schedule that sets up. The Jets and Patriots are irrelevant. You're considerably better than the Bills. Do you not go, hey, maybe 50 years is long enough. Maybe we get behind the Dolphins here.
Okay.
Dan and all the Danettes agreed with you. That they would be on the sideline, yeah, go Dolphins, in the back of their head, lose.
Bingo. Now, see, here's the thing, though. Here's where I differ from them. I don't think that they will actively root for them to lose. If somebody's going to break your record, you're right. You are right. If somebody's going to break that record, I want it to be the Miami Dolphins. I want it to be my franchise. I'm not going to stand on the sidelines if it's, if they're, they're in the Super Bowl.
But is this not the perfect time for that?
Yeah.
You made it to the 50-year anniversary.
Yeah. And they're
Do we
18-0.
really have to keep coming together every year? I mean, okay, some of us are 80-something years old.
No.
Maybe stop living in the past if you're
stop
great.
that. You would live in that forever.
I have always thought that is the most ridiculous thing we do in the NFL. That those 72 Dolphin guys come together every single year nobody else has done it. Well, yeah, they have, actually. Because you only won 17 games. The Patriots already did that and then won.
But that doesn't count.
It certainly does count.
No.
Your record has been beaten more than once.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, they didn't lose a
one
game. Well, they played 4 more than you.
Has anyone finished the season with a 100%, a 1.000 in the win percent column other than them? Has that ever happened? No, it has not. Look, I get what you're saying. I was one of those at one point. I was trying to poo-poo because, Brian Hall, and it's funny to poo-poo the boss's team and all of that. Like, the Patriots made it to 17-0. We get it. But they didn't win the big one. They didn't win the game.
I still have a T-shirt that says 18 wins, 1 giant loss. I detest the New York Giants, and I wear that proudly.
This is not baseball, Mr. Jeremy. We don't get to put asterisks on things just because the season's a little bit longer now.
Oh, good Lord.
So you're the one that makes that argument all the time. I hate baseball. You're kind of going that route.
No, I'm not.
Just because it was a longer season doesn't mean that it was a perfect record, because that's what they're celebrating. They're celebrating the perfect season.
I'm not celebrating, or I'm not saying that it was a full perfect season. I'm saying it's stupid that a slew of guys in their 80s are still coming together going, hey, nobody's done it again.
It's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing they ever accomplished in their lives, and you can't take that away from them.
And it thrusts Mercury Morris on us, which I'm just
He's had enough.
not a fan of.
I've had enough after 50 years of Larry Zonka. I can't do this anymore.
No, I'm fine. Larry Zonka's fine. There are a lot of them are fine. Mercury Morris is the loudest of the bunch.
Yeah. Look, they're not going to be standing on the sidelines of the Super Bowl secretly under their breath going, come on, lose. Come on, lose. Just so they can hang on to their record. However, they do lose. They'll hang their heads. They'll walk out of the stadium. They'll immediately go to the next bar, and they'll pop that bottle and go, boys, we're still number one. Because that's what we got, right? It's like Tennessee fans that still want to claim their, undefeated, unscored on season from 1920. Yes, They're out there.
I don't know any of them, but if I did, I would tell them how ridiculous that was.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
If you're celebrating anything that happened before the advent of cable television, I'm going to need you to explain to me why.
Some fan bases, that's all you have to hang your hats on, right?
Well, the Dolphins have something much greater to hang their hats on now.
Absolutely.
Number one in our power rankings yesterday, and
hell,
the more I think about this, the more I'm just looking at Miami going, that's a buzzsaw team, and I don't really know how you deal with them.
Yeah, but they're going to lose, aren't they?
Also, anybody else really entertained by this week? We have a Tua Tagovailoa Josh Allen matchup.
Woo.
That's a good one.
It's a humdinger.
That's not the only good one. We've got a slew of those, actually.
Yeah.
You got Josh Allen and Tua, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson. Okay. That's really the best. That's the best quarterback matchups.
Where are you going now? Are we going Trevor Lawrence, Desmond Ridder?
No, where I was going is your Sunday night matchup is Pat Mahomes and Zach Wilson.
What?
Is there a worse game we could have on Sunday Night Football?
I mean, it could be the Broncos. It could be the Chiefs and the Broncos on Sunday Night Football.
That's at least a division game.
Yeah, but that's not going to be fun for anybody. It's not going to be interesting.
It's at least a rivalry. I entertained that one.
Well, you know what this was supposed to be.
Oh, I know exactly
what it was supposed to be. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers.
This is why you should be able to flex Sunday night games.
No, this is why your team should go out and get a quarterback that we want to watch.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't. I can't. They're not going to listen to me.
Trevor Siemian. Woo.
They somehow found the only quarterback in the NFL that was worse than Zach Wilson. Congratulations.
Could you? Was Ian Book not available? Could you not have gotten him?
You know what? I'm in a good mood. Got a good night's sleep. At least it wasn't Colin Kaepernick. I did it. Sorry. It's one of the top stories on ESPN today. Colin wants to be on the practice squad for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they don't have any desire to want him.
No, they don't.
It's also completely ridiculous that he sent that to the Jets and said, it would be a badge of honor to be on your practice squad. Okay, then why did you not send that to 31 other teams?
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to play and you want to be a part of a team, why'd you only send it to the one team who lost their starting quarterback and their backup's awful? Oh, because you're lying.
Yep.
You're lying, which is what you've been doing for many years.
7 of them.
That felt good. I've been sitting on that for a full day, and I'm not going to go any further.
Okay.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah. No, you definitely need to do something at the quarterback position, and I'm just interested to see how far this goes. How loud is it going to have to get for you to do something? For
the Jets?
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to do this all season?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
With Joe Namath just already out here throwing bombs, and it's only going to get louder. It's only going to get more and more. Aaron had to show up on Pat McAfee yesterday and basically take Joe Namath to task and say, the former players saying stuff against us ain't really helping us out. And
you know what else is not helping us? Zach Wilson. That's not helping.
No, it's not. And that's what I'm saying. As the media gets louder and the coverage gets louder in the Big Apple, how are you going to do this? If you're Rob Salah and Joe Douglas, how are you going to sit back and do nothing and just let it fester and be gross and have your team at each other's throats like they were last year?
You want me to answer that question?
Yeah.
The same way you did last year. This ain't new. This is not new information. They did the same thing last year. He was every bit this bad, if not worse. And you sat on your hands and played Joe Falco and Chris Streveler and Mike White. We actually got duped into thinking Mike White was good at football. This is not new information. No, it wasn't just me. Trust me, it wasn't just me.
Oh, I know it wasn't just you. I'm just saying, I'm going to use the same word, the same line you use on me all the time. Is there a squirrel in your pocket? Because we didn't.
Hey, you thought he was better than Zach Wilson. You know why?
He is better. I was going to say, he is better.
He was, and he still is.
Mm-hmm. And if you'd have held on to him, you wouldn't be in such turmoil right now. But that all went out the window when Aaron went down. And I don't see this as a sustainable path forward. It's going to get so loud that you have to do something. I don't care if it's bringing in Phillip Rivers or I don't care.
Who hasn't played in 3 years.
I don't care who it is. I mean, there's got to be somebody out there.
There's really not. If there was, I would be telling you that, and I'd be beating a drum for it.
Oh, I'm sure.
The best name I got is Colt McCoy. So
that's better than what you got.
100. I don't disagree. Okay, that's why I said it.
As long as we're on the same page here.
I've said that name no less than 10 times.
I'm just saying anything you can do. I'm not saying make the move and give up draft capital to go get Kirk Cousins. I'm just saying anything will be better than that.
I'm saying that. Please. I'm going to implore here. All right, and then we'll move off the Jets and not talk about this worthless franchise anymore. Yeah. I implore you, Joe Douglas. I am a member of a Jets family. My father is a long, many years suffering Jets fan. For the love of all that's good and holy, do not make me watch 14 more games of this. Because I will. You know why? Because it's what you've taught me to do. At this point, it's like I can't stop with you. You've beaten me down for so many years that I have to watch the train wreck. And you have the ability. Take any form of draft capital and go get me something else. I don't care what it is. Not Colin Kaepernick. Not you. No. Cam Newton. Not you. Good there. Tim Tebow. I'm good on that too. Because I've seen it. That's why I don't want any of these sideshows, because I've already been down that road. Just get me a real-life, honest-to-God quarterback. That's all I ask. And I ask it with all the humility in the world.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on to WWNC.com and go to contest, and you can sign in to make your picks. Each weekly winner wins a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. Make your picks now.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
Football legend Emmitt Smith talking about all new regenerative treatments for joint pain from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics.
But did you know that you can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics?
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies that are natural, restorative, and long-lasting.
The body is an amazing thing. Trust me, I put mine through a lot.
Exciting new relief is here for pain from arthritis, knee pain, lower back pain, pain in your hips and shoulders.
I'm that guy. When you Google shoulder pain, my face pops up.
But you don't have to be sidelined by pain anymore. Call QC Kinetics to learn more about biologic therapies.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love. There's a new natural solution that patients are raving about.
QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
I love it when I can make Jeremy make that face that's like, why do you say the things you do?
I'm going to punch you directly in the face for this all said. I don't think there's anybody here to save you. I saw Ariel and Eddie leave at the same time. I think it's just me and you there, biggin.
Uh-oh.
So far, 25 minutes into this.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, 25 minutes into this. I wanted to punch you directly in the face twice.
It is the Sportsocracy. Welcome back into the program. At the quarter-ish poll of the NFL season, 4 weeks in, well, getting to the fourth week of the NFL season, one of the biggest surprises so far to me has to be the Miami Dolphins, right? I mean,
well, that's surprise on the high side.
I mean,
and we all thought they were good. We had them in, what do we have, at 6?
Something like that. But what I'm saying is and even take away a half of last game.
So just take it to the point that the Denver Broncos laid down like an old cat next to a radiator?
Yeah. I mean, because once you get up, once they got up, 53 points or whatever it was just no.
Oh, and Denver laid down and died.
Right, exactly.
They gave up, and it was very obvious.
Exactly. But, I mean, this offense just looks terrifying. Right, and the way that they were able to, they've been able to do it through not only the passing game, but the run game as well.
That's the part that surprises me.
It's an offense that just looks unstoppable.
The other part that surprised me is that the defense has been much better than I thought. I still don't think it's an elite defense, but here's what they do. They score so easily that you're going to be down to them a lot. Xavier Howard has still been a nightmare. Still. Hasn't mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Pass rush, not been as consistent as you would like it to be, and Jalen Phillips was banged up for a game. Hasn't mattered. Because when I know you're throwing, I can scheme it up to where you cannot score on me. It's exactly what they did to New England. Get a lead. I've taken away your ability to run the ball with Christian Wilkins in the middle, and now you have to throw. That's the impressive part to me. And then when you get the lead, actually leaning on the run game, which you've done in both games that wasn't the first week of the season. Mike McDaniel is evolving. And that should be really scary to everybody in the AFC because he was always super creative.
Right.
This offense has always had the ability to do something that you go, I've never seen a team do that before. That's Andy Reid-esque.
Mm-hmm.
And that's high praise for a guy in his second year. But he's got it.
Yeah.
Where he was always left a lot to be desired is when he would just get away from running the ball for a half at a time.
Mm-hmm.
How many times last year did you look at a Dolphin box score and go, awesome, they ran the ball 12 times in an entire NFL football game?
And you got what you wanted out of Devin Achane, right?
Yeah, he's real fast.
I mean, when you took him in the draft, that was the number one thing you were looking at is I need another speedster because I've got Jeff Wilson, I've got Raheem Mostert. If I can get another one, then that'll guard me against injury, and maybe this kid will be just as good, if not better, than the two that I already have. Well, now Jeff Wilson's already been on IR. Raheem Mostert, I mean, he's been great. You throw Devin Achane into this mixture here, and they have the most terrifying offense I think I've ever seen.
Have you seen the stat that came out yesterday from ESPN Stats and Information? The 6 fastest ball carrier speeds in the NFL this year? They're all Dolphins.
All of them.
It's Tyreek Hill twice, Jalen Waddle once, Raheem Mostert twice, Devin Achane once. That is terrifying. Now, if you want to play the devil's advocate, which Bill Buttigieg does in our YouTube comments, have the Miami Dolphins played anyone within the top 15 of yesterday's rankings? No, sir, they have not. But they're about to.
That's right. They're getting ready to go up against the Buffalo Bills. Are we overreacting to one 50-point win?
A little bit.
Of course.
A little bit.
Because
we're not, because we had the Dolphins at 2 before you saw that.
Mm-hmm.
We were super high on them to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
We just had issues with, is this going to be the same lather, rinse, repeat that we saw last year? The offense was dynamic last year.
They are not going to go in and boat race everybody.
Well, I mean, have you seen the line in Buffalo?
Mm-mm.
Set the line. Miami Dolphins set an NFL modern-day record since the merger for points. What's the line? 1 o'clock, Dolphins-Bills in Orchard Park.
Dolphins -3.
You were wrong at Dolphins.
Really?
The Buffalo Bills are a 2.5-point favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Mm.
Which means if they played this game in Miami, it would be virtually a pick'em.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that tell you? It tells you Vegas is not completely overreacting to what they have seen.
And nor should you. But
no, the only thing that would bother me about that particular line is that the weather's not going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this game was played in November, and now I've got Tua Tagovailoa, and it's cold outside, and he's got to go into Buffalo, and you could have wind and cold, okay, then 2.5 makes sense. I don't think that – I think that's Vegas doing that thing that I constantly talk about, that they don't move that much, because Vegas was way lower on Miami coming into the year than we were.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say in the first Vegas Power Rankings, I saw they were like 11. So I feel like you're not turning quick enough. But I get what you're saying. No, They haven't played anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been really impressive with the 3 that were trotted out in front of them.
That they have. And if Mike McDaniel can continue to win the matchup battle, the scheme battle, he has the pieces that nobody can match in the game, right? There's not another team that can stack up against them man for man. Maybe.
No, but you can scheme it.
Philadelphia?
I mean, Bill Belichick schemed it with a defense that I don't think is all that good. I mean, that completely neutered Tua for basically 4 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is that to do that, you leave yourself wide open to the run game, and now they've got enough horses in that stable, it's really hard to get away from.
That's what I'm saying, but there are a few defenses that can stack up with that. And
there's not many, no.
And that's what's going to be terrifying.
The unfortunate part is that you may have 3 of them in your own division, which means that's a solid third of your schedule.
True. But you'll never be worried about not being able to outscore the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
So at least there's 2.
Kick a field goal. You win. Good for you.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Gray afternoon with some sun trying to get through the clouds, so we may get some blue sky. Not terrible. Unseasonably cool, though. 72. Tonight in the mid-50s, mainly cloudy. Thursday, again, clouds and fog in the morning. As we go on through the day, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially later. 75 the daytime high. By Friday, sunshine's back, warmer 77. Looks like it's going to be a beauty of a weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi. Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 five-star reviews and an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye neti pot, hello Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose. Healthy life.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 five-star reviews and an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We're back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, and time to get just a bit outside. And, well, you know, I don't normally take our cues from the soccer world here. I'm not a fan of the sport. Not a fan of the sport, so to speak. But I never said we couldn't learn anything.
If this is another relegation thing, I'm going to get really angry.
No, it's not a relegation thing. This is actually a good idea that may hit close to home for some people. You got kids in youth or high school sports. You notice that there's been a big lack of referees available for games these days. Nobody wants to. I mean, who wants to do that, right?
Well, I mean, who wants to have 100 me's in the crowd going, "Let him play, ref! Let him play!" That's a phrase I'm really notorious for using.
Yes. One of the big things, other than the pay for a football game, which I had to look up, in the state of North Carolina, a high school varsity football official makes how much per game? Jeremy?
$11.
It's a little more than $11.
$11.
No, that would be. I mean, was that no?
It would be $411 in theory.
It's way less than that. $94.50 is the fee for one game, and for that game, the game that they may have for you may have to go to Franklin to do it. So the gas that you spend is not going to equal out anything for that
What
trip.
would it cost to get me to officiate a high school game? Okay, I'm going to spend my Friday night with a lot of pimply-faced teenagers that think they know the game better than I do. $1 million. There's my offer. You can take it or you can leave it. Your officiating will get better. It's going to be expensive.
This is like your check bouncing joke. I need at least 5 years of income because I'm going to have to go to prison for murdering someone.
Well, that's
a little twist on the joke, but
it
serves the same purpose.
It could be a defense fund there.
Yeah.
A lot of 17-year-old kids telling me how much more they know about football than me. That's good. Somebody's getting yelled at. That's just how that's going to go.
So, I mean, there's the lack of pay thing, but there's also the abuse thing. And not from the players, but it's from the parents. And there is a soccer organization up in Ontario, Canada, that has now provided body cameras for their referees because the problems with the parents have been so bad in their league that they think putting the cameras on the referees is the way to document this. They'll chase them down and pursue charges or whatever needs to happen in that case to deter this kind of activity in the future. And I don't think this is a terrible idea. I think it's actually a brilliant idea that we should have more of this. Maybe more people would be willing to give their time to youth sports and referee these games if they had a little bit of protection from the league or from the state or from whoever is the governing body that's in charge of all of this. I thought it was a great idea, and it might help the referee shortage. Would you be more likely? I'm not talking to you, Jeremy, because I know you wouldn't be more likely, but would you be more likely to volunteer for something like this and help out if you had a little bit more security? I think you might.
Well, the reason that I don't volunteer for things like this is because I live by a very simple scale. It's called the FAFO scale, and I don't need a body camera. I can take care of myself. However, we do get back into that defense fund thing.
Exactly.
My story comes from the NFL and the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill was on a Twitch stream with Mike Evans, at which point he was asked about his post-NFL aspirations. Does he want to do television? Does he want to be an analyst? No, he had a slightly different answer.
You retire, you going to be all over, huh? You going to be on TV, everything. Huh?
Nah, when I retire, bro, I really want to be a porn star, though, bro. Like, dead serious. Like, you think I got that?
Awkward silence.
No? Nah, I mean, do whatever you want, bro.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying? I don't got an opinion on that.
I love Mike Evans. Whatever you want to do, dude.
There are a couple parts of that I really... First of all, why did you ask Mike Evans if, and I quote, he thought you got that? There's no right answer in that, because if he said yes, we're having a whole different conversation today. Mike, buddy, I mean, I understand you were put in an uncomfortable situation there, but that was a weird answer.
Yeah.
My other question is, well, but for why? For why do you want to do that? And I found this ironic when you told me you were telling the low pay of officials story. Mm-hmm. I mean, the same thing applies here. Tyreek Hill's making $30 million. I don't know how much you think you're going to make for that, but it's not nearly as much as you want it to be.
You think? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, check the pay. How do I say this delicately? Tyreek Hill is of the wrong gender to make a whole lot in that particular industry.
To be an actor, yes.
To make a lot of money.
How much money does he already have?
Oh, well, I mean, that's fine.
Does he have the ability to make his own and produce his own and sell his own? And that could be the start of something we don't know.
Yeah,
you haven't been in a locker room with him, so you don't know.
He ain't making that much.
I'm telling you right now, there's at least 52 guys down in Miami that could vouch for whether or not he could make it in that business.
And you made it weird. See,
I'm just saying.
You had one line and you made it weird. You did the exact same thing that Mike Evans went, nope, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. is a photographer now for the NFL. So
Randy Johnson, he's got a photography business as well.
Yeah, your post-NFL careers.
Look,
I can think of a lot.
Tyreek Hill just wants to be an artist, right? It's the old Nancy Reagan line.
Hey, I started an OnlyFans. Nobody subscribed. I got real depressed, and then I realized I am a niche market.
Niche market.
It's a very specific Very specific kind of person you're looking for there.
They're called blind people.
Hey.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. I'm going to cut that off before it goes any further.
I was about to say. My clientele and yours, they would be similar. Yours needs to talk to a therapist. Bad.
The quarter Polish report here on the NFL season. Now I immediately regret using that term.
Yeah. Oh, we're big dumb Bears, folks. That's what we do.
The surprises at the 4-week mark of the NFL season. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals have to be high on this list, right? I mean, I know that they're only 1-2, but they did beat the Dallas Cowboys, and they have had leads in both of their games. And I'll be honest with you, the number of leads that I thought the Arizona Cardinals would have throughout this season is 0. So
they're your second most surprising team?
No, I'm not necessarily numbering these. I'm just saying they have to be in the group of surprises.
They're definitely up there. But, I mean, I think we should really, moving forward at least, I said this to you in the offseason of we're doing our projection for win totals, and you've got 5 teams that have 3 wins or less.
Yeah.
We should really stop doing that.
Should we, though?
Yes, because it never pans out that way.
No, that's true.
Because you get these scrappy little teams with a bunch of guys that don't really have any reason to be in the NFL, and they know they're fighting for their lives. And what do? They come out and play with their hair on fire. And you catch a team like the Cowboys that listens to too many of their press clippings, and next thing you know, LMNO beat.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that's going to happen tremendously more times this year? No. No, I don't.
You never know.
I will say that. All right, I'm glad you brought up Arizona here because this is an interesting conundrum to me.
Okay.
Started thinking about this. I heard a podcast where they were talking about how good Josh Dobbs has been, and they're not wrong. He's been phenomenal for what he's been asked to do. What do you do when Kyler Murray is healthy enough to come back? Am I the only one thinking about this? Kyler Murray, who has been a locker room cancer the entire time he's been in Arizona. Things are humming along. You got all these young players. Josh Dobbs has played well. And you're telling me you're going to bench that for Kyler Murray?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure I agree with you. I'm really not. And I know you think I'm out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of PFF grade, where do you think Josh Dobbs is at this point in the season? It's not super high.
I'd say 22.
You're too low. 19.
Okay.
He is ahead of Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr. All of the rest of them make sense and do not steer into the narrative I'm trying to portray here.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's roughly where Kyler Murray has been. I understand I'm not talking about the contract. I'm not talking about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about what is working right now for the Arizona Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon has come in and brought a different what?
Culture.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't fit Kyler Murray. That does not fit Kyler Murray.
Nope. Does Jonathan Gannon have any say over that, though?
100% or he wouldn't be the head coach here.
Really?
100% or he wouldn't be the head coach.
You honestly believe if Kyler Murray's healthy, that he has full carte blanche
I don't
to go,
think you're ever.
No, Kyler, I don't want you.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Do you remember how hard it was for them to get somebody to take this job?
Mm-hmm.
Every high-level candidate, Sean Payton included, interviewed. All of them pulled themselves out of consideration.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Jonathan Gannon got some platitudes here?
Not that kind.
I disagree with you.
Not that kind.
I
because
disagree
every
with
one
you.
of them that said no, I guarantee you that's what they wanted. They wanted carte blanche to be able to say no, and I guarantee you they were told no.
I would say Jonathan, if you remember, Gannon interviewed and then had to come back later. And I'm not sure that wasn't what it was over.
Maybe.
Because you want to talk about a team that you could see a much different tenor. And I'm not saying that he's going to come out and say, no, we're playing Josh Dobbs over Kyler Murray. No, he's just not healthy enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real easy lie to tell. Oh, he's not healthy enough. Let him go to Twitter and say he could play. Nothing of that is out of character for you. It also doesn't mean that it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to save face. Because what I have seen out of 3 games of Josh Dobbs, he's done more for those young receivers than Kyler Murray's done since he's been there.
Okay.
And this is one of the youngest teams in the NFL.
And let's be clear, I'm not arguing any of that. I'm not saying Josh Dobbs is not better for this team. But I just find it very hard to believe that the ownership is going to be cool with your big money quarterback just being sidelined for no reason. And if Kyler does that, if Kyler comes out and says, I'm healthy enough to play and they're just not playing me, does that not create a problem with the players' union? For the team to say, no, we're just not, he's not healthy enough. Well, no, wait a minute. The doctor said I could play. It does, right? It creates a hell of a problem.
Here's the other thing. Okay, so it creates a problem. Let me explain something to you about unions. What are you going to do about it? Oh, we'll file a grievance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You going to have a second doctor come in here? Because that's not allowed.
Do the Arizona Cardinals want that, though? Are they willing to take on that another PR hit after how much they've been talked about?
Well, the thing that you got to understand is everybody's talked about how immovable this Kyler Murray deal is.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not.
Really? Okay.
I mean, yeah, it gives you it gives you an uncomfortable dead money spot for several years. I mean, you're going to carry roughly $13 million every year for 5.
No, that's a lot.
4.
Okay.
All right. Well, if I've got Josh Dobbs who's playing at the level that my coaching staff that I believe in, if he's already doing that, we already know this team's not going to win a bunch of games. Don't think the Houston Texans are going to win a bunch of games. So you're telling me in the offseason I could add Marvin Harrison and I'm trying to think of another player in that class that I really like. Jared Verse, because you don't have a pass rusher to save your life. The savings don't equal out. Trust me, there's a team in this league that would be desperate enough to trade for Kyler Murray.
Okay. Maybe so.
But, I mean, I don't know if you've looked at the numbers lately. Josh Dobbs is surging up the comeback player of the year voting.
Okay.
There's a reason for that. It's not because he's been a game manager. It's because he's been good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious to hear your take on it. I didn't really know what you were going to say there.
Yeah, I don't have anything against Josh Dobbs. I don't feel like there's a scenario where Kyler Murray comes back healthy to play and they go, nah, I'm good. You can go sit down. I guess the next time a team does that with a $60 million quarterback or whatever, I'll go, okay, I get it. But they'd be the first, wouldn't they? I mean, we've seen teams pay people to go away, right? We've seen people swallow big numbers to have guys go other places.
Well, I guess that's maybe what I should have asked here is how far does Josh Dobbs have to go? I mean, I don't think anybody with an IQ above salad dressing thinks that Kyler Murray's coming back within the next handful of weeks. He can go out there and throw all he wants to. Just looking at where Arizona's at for the coming few weeks. Play at the 49ers, the Bengals, at the Rams, at the Seahawks, and the Ravens. I would say that's the earliest you could project him back. Because I had heard all offseason that it was not happening before Thanksgiving. So let me split the difference of right now and then. If Josh Dobbs wins 2 of those, I don't know how you can sit him down. Because it sends a horrible message to the rest of that franchise. Of this guy's doing everything in his power to do everything we're asking him to do, and we're sitting him down for the malcontent that wouldn't watch tape last year? Ooh, you better have really changed who you are, or you got a lot of young guys that are going to look around and go, oh, so the only thing that matters is how much we make? Cool. Good to know.
Yep. Because I think in some cases that's all that does matter.
I don't.
That's why it surprises me to see J.C. Jackson be a healthy scratch for the Los Angeles Chargers. Because, I mean, you're paying that guy a lot of money.
Who are you talking about?
Not to play. J.C. Jackson.
Exactly.
I'm using him as the example here of, okay, I mean, if they continue to do that.
No team and look, the Arizona Cardinals are a historically poorly run franchise. But if who you're putting on the field is dictated by how much they make, you're losers. Period.
Sure, absolutely.
There's no good franchise in this league that means anything to. And any coach that you talk to will tell you the very same thing.
Yep.
I don't care how much these guys make. That means nothing to me. Who gives me the better chance to win right now? And I'm not sure that Josh Dobbs is not the right answer.
All right.
Now, I am not a Kyler Murray guy under any stretch. I didn't like him coming out. I didn't really like anything that he did in the last 2 years. I bought into it for a minute. The more I watched it, the less I liked it.
But I wonder, doesn't Josh Dobbs, does he have to put up a Geno Smith-esque type season?
There are people saying that if he plays all 17 games, he could put up a stat line that is of that level.
And
I believe that? I don't know. We're way too early to be saying that.
But if he does it, does that keep them from drafting a quarterback next year?
Yes. And you take Marvin Harrison Jr., and I would say probably Jared Verse, like I said earlier. Now you've added 2 building block pieces the same way the Houston Texans just did. I mean, and they look different. I still don't believe them. They look different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Arizona's already to that point, and they don't have any talent. So I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. Yes. Let's put it that way.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
It's Ryan Seacrest here. Check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. You get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then next year, you get the latest iPhone, and this keeps happening every year. It's Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To switch today or learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250, and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Saturday, October the 14th, it's the Thomas Wolfe 8K, Asheville's oldest running event. Come and celebrate its 46th year in downtown Asheville. The course starts at the Thomas Wolfe House, takes you through downtown in Montford and past Thomas Wolfe's final resting place in Riverside Cemetery. This race helps support Read to Succeed in Asheville and Buncombe County. For more information and to get signed up, go to thomaswolfe8k.com. That's thomaswolfe8k.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the pimento cheese. I was like, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go get it.
Hi, this is Chantrice, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the mild spiciness of the pickled jalapenos. No, it's the crispy chicken. Actually, I can't decide. It's the entire sandwich.
Order the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
I'm James Palmer.
And I'm Steve Weich, and we're your host of the new podcast, The NFL Report. Twice a week, every week, we'll use our decades of experience covering football to pull back the curtain of the NFL and provide perspective and depth on the biggest topics on and off the field.
No hot takes, just real football talk for real football fans. The NFL Report podcast every Monday and Thursday. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville DFS. You can play with us each and every week on DraftKings with the battle for the belt. You can still get signed up.
This is your last week to sign up for the battle, and then we will go to an individual weekly contest the following week that we will announce next week.
Yes, but if you are in the battle for the belt, you're in it for the long haul. All the links to the battle for the belt with the proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project are on the YouTube description, the video description. Also, the links are all posted up on the website, thesportsocracy.com. And again, proceeds going to Eblen Charities. Last week, I know I didn't make it.
No, that is correct. You didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
Big congratulations to Dave McPhee. He was last the first week and won the third week. That's called improvement, folks. And last year's champion, Michael Meadows, now his son is doing it because he finished second.
Oh.
That would be Jeffrey Meadows.
Okay.
Just another 00. He finished second, and then, who's shocked? This guy. Hi. Yeah, I finished third in both contests.
Good for you.
And then Jeffrey Meadows won the week in the Eliminator. Chris Smathers finished second, and again, this guy.
I was fourth in one of those.
That and $2.25 in a Biden economy will get you one Pepsi Cola.
We will continue with the quarter Polish surprises of the NFL season coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Gray afternoon with some sun trying to get through the clouds, so we may get some blue sky. Not terrible. Unseasonably cool, though. 72. Tonight in the mid-50s, mainly cloudy. Thursday, again, clouds and fog in the morning. As we go on through the day, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially later. 75 the daytime high. By Friday, sunshine's back, warmer 77. Looks like it's going to be a beauty of a weekend. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Careless debris burning is the leading cause of wildfires in North Carolina. Remember to keep your burn pile small, not tall, and never burn on dry, windy days or leave your fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov. You are the best defense against wildfires.
Saturday, September 30th, it's the Oktoberfest Half Marathon and 5K. The Half Marathon runs through a great route in the River Arts District, historic Montford, and West Asheville by the French Broad River. Not trained up for the half? Then enjoy the 5K. There's costume awards and middle-of-the-pack awards for those who aren't in it to win it, but just in it for the fun. So kick off fall with a great run and a great finish at Highwire Brewing. For more information and to get signed up, go to kickitevents.com. That's kickitevents.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is the Sportsocracy live in the Ingalls Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat. And you too can become a member of the House of Reprehensibles. And you could super chat things to us.
Oh.
One button. He had one button.
I have far more than one button. I have far more than one button.
And it's still not working.
Wait.
I'm your husband.
There we go.
There we go.
Can I ask, why is there a mute button if there's a volume level? If I've got the volume level turned up, why do I want it muted?
That's a great question.
Hey, Bill Gates, maybe worry more about your product and less about all the other crap you do.
That's a great question.
Anyway.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from our buddy Rich Vital. Do you think the Raiders-Chargers is the firing bowl? Loser gets fired. I don't think Josh McDaniels is to that point yet. You were competitive with the Steelers. You beat the Broncos. I'm not saying he won't get there. I'm just not saying he's there. I don't think he's there yet.
He's not there yet.
Okay. Now, Brandon Staley, I've already said. Your next loss, and especially if it's against the Raiders. They lose to the Raiders at home, you're done.
Well, I mean,
and it's already
not
close.
It's already not going to be a home game anyway.
No.
Right? The one team that can pack fans in that. We already saw it, right, with San Francisco. When San Francisco was playing in that stadium earlier this year, it was all 49er fans. Now you're telling me you're playing the former Los Angeles Raiders,
so you get
in that ballpark.
So you get a lot of guys that maybe don't want to travel to Vegas.
Them Southern Cal guys that are just like, hell yeah, our team's back. And it'll be black and silver, and it'll be a rough environment to play in.
Have you seen the Raiders fan letter where he basically is some 40-year fan that said goodbye to the Raiders?
No.
It sounded a lot like what I said about the Jets. He was just, it's goodbye to the Raiders.
Just forever?
They've taken his mental health, and I mean, look, usually I would make fun of this, but I'm a fan of the New York Jets, so I get where you're at. That's why I drink, so it helps.
So the team has just robbed him of his mental health.
Yes, the darkest of darkest days. Have taken this once proud and winning franchise into the laughingstock of all sports.
Right. And
I don't know that I agree with you on that. I mean, okay, there's not many under you.
I was going to say.
But it's just this guy.
I mean, have your New York Jets won a playoff game since 2002?
Well, no, it's more than that. The Rex Reiner years.
Exactly. You went to a couple of AFC championship games since then. They have not won a game in the playoffs since they got dogged by my Bucks in the Super Bowl.
Notorious B.I.G. asked us in the YouTube chat, who's the worst organization, the Jets or the Raiders? And I'm going to answer this with a question.
Okay.
All right, so you've got 4 tires on your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all inflated properly.
Yes.
If 2 of them go flat, is either one of those flat tires more flat than the other?
It could be.
Well, I mean, it could be eviscerated where I can't put air in it, and it just blowed out.
Right.
Then there could be, well, I need air in it.
Yeah.
But that's not the question I asked. I asked, is one of them any more flat than the others? They both have a hole in it, so there's no air in it.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, you could have one low tire that's got a hole in it, but
that's not what I asked. You're really bad at this listening thing. You'd be the worst witness in the history of a trial. If you have 2 flat tires, is anyone more flat than the other?
Could be.
No, they're both flat. And those 2,
it ain't got no gas in it.
So, I mean, this is birds of the same feather.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
do you know what happens when all right,
I want to lean Raiders on this.
I'm going to go on a little tirade here for a minute because I watched this happen at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, our official home for watching football all season long.
Okay.
I get to watch this every Sunday. The Browns, the Raiders, the Jets, all the franchises that have been really bad for a really long period of time. Mm-hmm. Do you know what we do when we see each other? Invariably, we just go sit beside each other. And then we share a beer. and we hearken on which one of us is sadder. And you know what? How that usually ends? We're both awful. I mean, it really is just awful to be both of us. So let's just sit here and wallow in our sadness a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a mutual love there. I want the Raiders to be good, and the Browns, and kind of the Bears. The Bears are getting all right. Your fan base, now that you've stopped calling me bad names, now I'm getting more on the side of, all right, you come hang out with us.
Now that everybody's come to the realization that Justin Fields is not good at football.
Yeah, now that we've had to have a few moments of, okay, you were right. Now you can come hang out with us.
Yeah. To answer Rich's question, it's quite possible with the Chargers, but I'm going to agree with the mulleted one. I don't think Josh McDaniels is there yet. I really don't, because if you look at it, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's been playing fine.
Oh, well,
He's
I mean, except
okay.
for the fact he's leading the NFL in interceptions.
Well, I mean, there's that problem, but I mean, other than that, I mean, you know.
But
what?
I mean, yeah, he's been playing great, other than he leads the league in turnovers.
Well, I mean, that is a problem, obviously.
That's like, the girl that put cigarettes out on my couch. Well, you're doing a great job of not being a total dumpster fire, except you're putting your Marlboros out on my armrest.
Exactly. I mean, it sucks, but he's the best you got.
No doubt.
And he's not the worst quarterback in the NFL. So he's doing stuff, right?
I don't want to talk about the worst quarterback in the NFL.
I know you don't.
I've already stuck my claim on that.
I'm just saying, at this point, if you could go back and turn back that clock and have old Jimmy Garoppolo on this team, you'd do it in a heartbeat. And you know I'm right.
I'll take Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I will love him and pet him and call him George.
But yeah, no, I mean, and I think that franchise is still in denial. They're going to have more time to get over it and get through it. And we're only 3 weeks in, right? We're only one game below 500. I mean, this is how loser franchises think.
It's not how this one thinks.
So it's going to take until probably they lose to the Lions on the Halloween Eve before they go, oh, damn, well, we've only won one game. Then maybe we should make a change after the season, because I don't want to pay somebody else to do it now.
Notorious B.I.G. in the YouTube comments said he's been hearing a lot of Cooper Rush to the Jets rumors.
Let's go.
Please, no.
Yes. That's what you need.
No,
yes.
That's not what I need.
Yes, it is. You need all of the mean guy. Old Tom Sawyer leading the New York Jets. That's what I need.
I hate
He's
football.
better than Zach Wilson. We just say it with me, and you'll feel better about it.
No, I won't. No, I won't feel better.
I feel like you would.
Do I need to re-reference that flat tire again?
He's 2-0 when Dak Prescott went down. Let's go.
What? He's 2-0?
Well, whoop-de-doo.
Surprises of the NFL season. At the quarter-ish poll of the season, who's a surprise to you, Jeremy Green? We've already discussed the Miami Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals. Who else is on your list?
I mean, two teams that play each other this week, the Indianapolis Colts and the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think there was an NFL team, if you put these two rosters together and combined, you're 3-3. Rams could easily be 2-1 just like the Colts are.
Yep.
My big question is with Indianapolis, they're in one of those weird spots too. I'm not sure there's a team that I would less rather be in leadership of right now than the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Because you have to be looking around going, we play the Titans next week. We play the Rams this week, Titans next week. The Jaguars. You still got dates with the Panthers, the Patriots, the Buccaneers, another with the Titans, one with the Falcons, one with the Raiders, one with the Texans. Tell me which of those games they can't win.
Okay.
I understand you want to get Anthony Richardson reps and all of that. Fact or fiction, you're in better shape to win right now with Gardner Minshew.
I would say fact. There's still too much unknown about Anthony. I mean, he's looked good.
At times.
At times.
He's done the same thing he did at Florida, which is you'll look really good for one drive, and then the next drive you look like you don't know what a football is.
If you think you have a sustainable future here, then I don't know that you can go back to Anthony Richardson. I mean, you're going to.
Oh, no doubt you're going to.
But I don't know that you should.
But you have the Colts, to me, have a shot to win this division, and I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. Because the Jaguars have just been horribly disappointing.
I mean, until the Jaguars figure it out, though.
But are they going to figure it out? You say that like it's a foregone conclusion.
I feel like
they lead the NFL in drops. You have one of the best receiving corps in the league, and yet you lead the NFL in drops. Your quarterback is third in the NFL in PFF rating. Do you think he's going to get just mysteriously better?
Absolutely.
I don't, because this is not really on him.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, he's been disappointing to what you were expecting him to be. Their 2 losses, I can chalk Kansas City up to him with some decision making. He ain't what lost. The reason they're hanging an L to the Houston Texans is not Trevor Lawrence. That defense has to get worlds better. And I'm not so sure I see that happening.
Okay.
If I'm Indy and Tennessee, and to a much smaller degree, Houston, I have to be looking at Jacksonville going, I smell blood in the water. We all get cracks at you. We're all better than you defensively, except maybe Houston. I mean, I've even said that about Indianapolis, whose secondary is 4 dudes that I'm pretty sure they got off the street.
Yeah. But do you not feel like things like this are cyclical, though? I mean, teams have bad starts, right?
I mean, of course they do.
And so if Trevor Lawrence is playing good football and he's putting balls on the mark, but they're being dropped, then that kind of all comes back to the mean at some point, doesn't it? Here, I pulled up some stats about Jacksonville's start to the season. They've lost the 4th most expected points from offensive turnovers, and 3 of their 5 total turnovers have been fumbles. They're 5 for 7 on field goals, which is the 5th worst percentage in the league right now. And their performance on late downs is really embarrassing because on first down, they're the 8th best offense in the league. On third down, they're the 5th worst. Now,
so all the stats you just
change? I mean, is this not all just kind of fluky to start out?
You got to be 37-17 by a team that doesn't have 10 NFL players on the roster. I don't care about anything you just said. Not one iota.
Okay.
Because you could tell me you were the best team in the NFL and everything you just said, you'd have still lost to the Houston Texans. They annihilated you. I'm not unseeing that anytime soon. And what you just said has 0 to do with their offensive line and 0 to do with their defensive line, which is your biggest problem, and it ain't all that close. And I'm looking at the Falcons this week. We haven't made picks yet. I didn't think about that game nearly as hard as I thought I was going to.
Wow.
When I saw the number.
Okay.
And then you get a Buffalo Bills team next week that's probably going to be coming off a home loss to the Dolphins. If Jacksonville's 1-4 and I'm Indianapolis, I'm sitting around going, I can win this division. I'm not saying I deserve to win this division, but I can win it.
You going to win it? You going to win it with Jonathan Taylor?
Oh, Lord. Oh, I already hate that we're going to have to talk about this again.
Of
Please
course
trade
you are.
him this week.
He's coming back. I mean, he's coming back off of IR in week 5.
Please trade him this week. I really don't want to have to do the Jim Irsay thing again.
And if you don't trade him, if you haven't gotten rid of him and he's healthy to play and he gets added into this team and they just come to an agreement, he'll be there, everything's going to be fine.
I don't really see a way that that's coming. Zach Moss has been too good.
I don't see how he cannot.
Because we find somewhere to trade him.
And well, yeah.
I'm still maintaining that spot really feels like it's going to be the LA Rams to me.
Okay. And if it is, then cool. But at this point, I don't have any faith that somebody's going to make that deal or they're going to pull off that trade. And if they do, this is this not the Kyler Murray situation all over again with Indianapolis? I got this quote unquote star player here. I mean, he's much more than Kyler in my book, but you got the star player coming back from injury
at a much more devalued position.
Sure, Zach Moss has been good the last 2 games. He's, 230 yards in the last 2 games?
He's been very good the last 2 weeks.
He has been.
See, to me,
But
I
you
don't
don't say
want
no to him.
I don't want to mess up the locker room. I got a really young quarterback. I got a running back that obviously they believe in. The receivers have been exponentially better than we thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not screwing that up. You know, in the YouTube chat, Lee Bruce said the Packers made the call on Taylor and they asked for Christian Watson. Yeah, you're right. And that was at least 2 months ago. It's weird how time changes what you're looking for. And I still maintain that you're looking at a team that will give him the long-term deal, give that 2, 3, 4, and the Rams are the only team I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no shot I'm letting him back in the building.
That guy.
He's too toxic.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
With everything Jim Irsay did, I completely understand why you are where you are.
But he comes back in the building, that's what everything's about.
Exactly.
Everything's about him.
Exactly.
Everything's about the deal. Everything's about, is he going to play on the new deal?
And I've got too many. I've got too many things there anyway. All right, you beat the Rams this week. You're going to be 3-1. If it's Minshew, we're going to be talking about should Minshew be playing because they can still win the division. If it's Anthony Richardson, we're going to be talking about him for Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that headache. Just this is one of those where you got to go to Chris Ballard and say, hey, we're going to have to get more realistic about what we're asking for.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not getting anybody's best offensive player for Jonathan Taylor, who's in the last year of a deal, and you're getting ready to have to pay. Let's gauge that market again, see what's out there, and get this deal done.
Yeah, get the best you can. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
One of Western North Carolina's favorite half marathons is back. The Geyser Growl Half Marathon, presented by Hillman Beer, October the 21st, starting at 8 a.m. This fun and scenic race during the peak of leaf season takes you from Lake Tomahawk and Black Mountain down to Old Fort and passing the iconic Andrews Geyser. The race finishes at Hillman Beer with hot soup and cold beer. If you're looking for a fun half marathon, you don't want to miss this. For more information and to get signed up, go to gloryhoundevents.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos are full of shredded, marinated, all white meat chicken. Choose from 3 dipping sauces: spicy ranch, nacho cheese sauce, and house-made guacamole. Order on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip per 2-pack, 2 dips per 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text message from iHeartMedia.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Still talking about the surprises of the NFL season so far. Through 3 weeks, and week 4 is upon us. It all starts tomorrow night. What is the Thursday night game?
The Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I mean, we got shafted on Sunday night and Monday night this week. Because we got the Seahawks and the Giants on Monday night. And we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets.
Do you know what the line for Seahawks Giants is?
By the way you said that, not enough in favor of Seattle.
It's a pick'em.
Jesus.
It's a pick'em.
Stop that.
Huh.
Wow.
Huh. That's an interesting development.
Are you going New York?
No.
Oh, okay.
At least I don't think I am.
Okay. I was...
Hey, look, this is Wednesday. Ooh. This is the day that I start looking at lines and start sending out text messages of, are you on drugs? Because that doesn't make any sense.
That's the first one. For me, anyway. Yikes. Anyhow. Thursday. All right, cool. That's the team I wanted to talk about anyway. Let's talk about the Rams first, because we talked to you. You teased them. Maybe they're in the sweepstakes for Jonathan Taylor. Where does that?
I think they almost have to be.
If they did that, where does that put them in your eyes? With Cooper Kupp coming back, they'd add Jonathan Taylor. They've already been surprisingly good.
They're another team to me like the Cardinals. You're spunky. I think you found something in Puka Nacua.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got something in Tutu Atwell, who's been a sweet little roller coaster of how I felt about him, because I loved the pick and loved it more. Then I hated it when you refused to use him, and now I'm back to that's the guy, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Real electric deep ball threat.
Yep.
I mean, the only problem is that I still look at the Rams and go, you have one defensive player that scares me. Now, it's the scariest defensive player in the league, but the Bengals showed you – I think they showed a recipe of how to beat the Rams, because that secondary is so young. And you start moving around Jamar Chase, and they had absolutely no solution for that. I think they're a good story. I still think they're going to be picking in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look up and down that schedule and go, you're not beating the Eagles. You're not beating the Steelers. You're not beating the Cowboys, the Packers, the Seahawks, the Browns, the Ravens. There are a whole mess of losses on that Rams schedule, and there should be. Because Matthew Stafford ain't going to be here forever, especially at the rate that I'm seeing him get hit. He may not be getting sacked, but he is getting hit quite a bit.
Right.
So, I mean, I think the Rams are fine. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, does that change anything for me? I think it makes you respect the run, because if they make that move, I don't see them just completely abandoning it the way they did against Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I told you yesterday, I think the Rams lost that more than Cincinnati won it, because you were running the ball just fine. You just stopped doing it, and Sean McVay outsmarted himself. This week will be somewhat telling. I don't think it's going to be a real palatable game to watch, but I would like them better with Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. The Green Bay Packers are a surprise to me, because I doubted Jordan Love. And I've said this, for the last 3 weeks, it feels like. He's convincing me that he ain't bad. And they haven't had Christian Watson yet, who could play this week.
He's expected to play this week.
Aaron Jones could be back this week.
He needs to be, because A.J. Dillon's not great.
But with that added, Christian Watson added into the mix here, with Jordan Love, who's already looked good, with the weapons that he's already had, with Romeo Doubs looking good and Dontavian Wicks making plays, Luke Musgrave out here making catches. Are the Green Bay Packers for real? Are they a legit contender?
Depends on what you're asking me.
For this division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're a legit contender. I think they would need some help from the Lions because I do think the Lions are better. I am struggling to find a way that they don't make the playoffs because of how many teams in the NFC are even worse than I thought they were. And what I'm looking at with Green Bay, and I said this during our draft coverage, I've never seen a team do this, but it seems to be working out pretty well. They have thrown as much draft capital as I think I've ever seen a team throw at young pass catchers, just going, we'll see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
If we hit 60% of these, we're going to be in shape. And I think you've hit on Jaden Reed.
Yep.
I think you hit on Romeo Doubs. I think you hit on Luke Musgrave. And I think you hit on Dontavian Wicks. If that's the case, that's going to make up for a lot of ills because you said Jordan Love has convinced you of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
He really hasn't convinced me a squat.
Okay.
Other than he's not awful.
Well, I thought he was. So,
okay, I did too. So I guess I will say he convinced me that he's not as bad as I made him out to be.
There you go.
He's still a mid-tier quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you deal with a quarterback that's a mid-tier quarterback? This is Jimmy Garoppolo philosophy. Put really good weapons around him, mitigate his opportunities to make mistakes. And no, he's not a trash quarterback. He's I'm trying to decide whether I want to say average, fine, or good. It's one of those three words. I don't know which one.
Decent.
Decent will work.
Because that can fall into any of those categories, depending on where depending on the rest of the season it goes. We go, he's decently average, or he's decently good, or I think decent works for him. And then you look at their schedule and you go, man, there are just a lot of games on there that you can win. If you're this team and you're this
they're a wild
good
card team at worst,
and your defense is good, which they have been so far, this can be a team to make a lot of noise.
I like a lot of the pieces on the offense, and I know LaFleur gets a lot of flack. I think he deserves a lot of credit for putting Jordan Love in a position to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Because just think about this: if you had told us coming into the season that in 2 of their first 3 games you wouldn't have your running back, in all 3 of your first 3 games you wouldn't have your number 1 wide receiver, would either one of us have given Green Bay a win?
No.
I think you're probably right because we were way too high on the Bears.
Yeah. We're too high on the Bears.
And we were too low on the Packers.
We believe in the Saints, and we would have had them losing to the Falcons too.
And I think it's been a really good job by Green Bay and the Brain Trust. And yes, you mangled the Aaron Rodgers thing. But most teams don't come out this good on the other side when they mangle a situation like that.
No.
Look at what Indianapolis was quarterback-wise after Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
They mangled that by not giving him a quarterback. It was a lot of years of Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan.
Is this going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers? I don't believe so.
I don't
think there's a path for that.
But I don't think his ceiling is as high as everybody else does, but I think he has a really safe floor.
Right. But this is also not going from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson, which I thought it was going to be closer to being, and you don't have that in Green Bay. Thank God. We'll talk about the quarter-ish poll letdowns coming up after the next break. Plus, we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Gray afternoon with some sun trying to get through the clouds, so we may get some blue sky. Not terrible. Unseasonably cool, though. 72. Tonight in the mid-50s, mainly cloudy. Thursday, again, clouds and fog in the morning. As we go on through the day, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially later. 75 the daytime high. By Friday, sunshine's back, warmer 77. Looks like it's going to be a beauty of a weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos are full of shredded, marinated, all white meat chicken. Choose from 3 dipping sauces: spicy ranch, nacho cheese sauce, and house-made guacamole. Order on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip per 2-pack, 2 dips per 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. And now try Babbel for free by texting radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Sportsocracy, it is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Jeremy, I know that you're not a secondhand guy. Right, you don't do like secondhand clothes.
Oh, you're talking like Goodwill? No, I'm good.
Like yard sales and stuff. You're not into stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need clothing that smells like Funyuns and shame. I'll pass. People are gross, and I don't need their no.
Oh, come on! You can launder those things. You can clean those things. It'll be just fine. It's not going to hurt you. Not going to kill you. I promise.
Stank don't go away.
Stank don't go away.
Yeah,
if it stinks, they'll buy it. It's pretty simple. Anyway, I grew up, in a frugal family. We were always looking for a deal, and if you had a cast off that somebody didn't want, you go pick it up, go to yard sales, stuff like that. We were all into that when I was a kid. Now, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the big ones. Like, the world's largest yard sale in like Alabama or something. I've got friends that go down 3 times a year to those big giant yard sales. I'm not quite into that. But I think this might be something that could even pique your interest, Jeremy, because some pretty cool stuff gets left behind at airports. I've never seen this happen, and if we do this locally, I want somebody to tell me about it. The Pittsburgh International Airport is getting ready to host their 12th annual, basically yard sale, at the hangars. They take everything that's been left behind, everything that hasn't been claimed, lost baggage and clothes and all manner of things, and they turn to the October the 7th. They will be selling all of these items at the yearly airport auction. It's a hell of a way for the local airport to make some money. And also gives you a chance to get some cool stuff. They got a lot of pictures on here of all the things that are available, and there are 3 giant, like, big moving boxes full of Yetis. Like, just the little drink containers that people have left behind.
I'll buy my own Yeti.
You wouldn't?
I don't
You
know where
wouldn't
your
do
mouth's
that?
been. I'll pass.
Not even if you wash it. Just
Am I going to wash it in bleach and holy water? 'Cause
Absolutely.
that's what it would have to be washed in.
Absolutely.
No, I'll pass.
Sterilize it.
I have 7 Yetis that have never, that no one else disgusting mouth hole has ever touched.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
I'm not sure how much they're going to get out of this box of books. I'm not real sure that's
do they
going to be.
still print books?
Apparently they do, and apparently people buy the books and then they go, yeah, just leave it at the airport.
I don't even think that. Never mind. No good could come from what I was getting ready to say.
2022 though, they were able to rake in at $75,000 at their latest auction of all the lost and found stuff.
Who buys all this crap?
Here, guilty.
Oh yeah,
guilty.
Oh.
If we had one of these at the Asheville airport, I would definitely go just to check out what was there.
It would all smell like patchouli. There would be many vape pens, and probably a few crimes, and yep, crimes. There'd be a lot of crimes. I'm going to say there would be a lot of crimes left over. I've been to the Asheville airport a bunch of times. My story is about New Mexico State quarterback Diego Pavia. We've had many gates in the history of football. There was Spygate, there was Deflategate, and now we have what I am personally dubbing Tinklegate. KOB4, it's a news station in New Mexico, has gotten its hands on video of the New Mexico State quarterback allegedly taking a piddle on New Mexico's practice field logo. Now, here's the only thing. They're refusing to show the video for some reason. They have social media posts and all these things showing that there is a video, but they don't actually show him committing the act. They say that they will, but they haven't yet. Mm-hmm. Now, here's my question. Why would anyone care? I mean, if he took a grumper on it, then okay, I understand why we're upset by that, because that's gross. As grown men, the outdoor piddle is the best of all piddles.
Yep.
It just so happened there was a logo there. Okay. I mean, I get it. Okay. But there was all this outrage about this strikes me like something a kid would do at 16 and regret it for years.
What, peeing outside?
Yeah. On the logo at New Mexico. Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's say he did. Does anybody care?
I mean, I'd be ticked off.
Why?
I would be. You wouldn't be? If
I'm talking to a man that literally goes out the front door more than the bathroom door. Mm-hmm. I don't think you have the right to take the moral high ground here.
Sure I do. I mean, he's going out to the middle of the football field and defacing, not necessarily defacing because you can't see it after it's done, but he's literally urinating on your parade. You wouldn't be upset by that? Really?
I don't
Somebody
care.
goes to Florida State and middle of the field just decides to let one loose. You don't care? There's no,
I don't care.
No, you don't hate that person now? There's no animus? Really? Okay.
I mean, if you did it in my living room, now we got a problem.
Well, I mean, that's basically what they're doing to your football team. Okay.
You know me. I don't get upset about things. Oh, you hit my car with a shopping cart.
I'm going to come to your house and we'll pee in your corner of your room and then see how you like it.
You feel froggy here, big boy. You jump.
Still, I'm probably not going to go my way. You said you'd be fine with it.
Nobody
cares,
if it
right?
was in my living room, I would have a big problem with it. A lot of people in
this sounds very hockey to me. You know how hockey guys get all upset if you walk on the logo in the locker room or out on the center ice or whatever like that? Oh, I just not.
Yeah,
not there.
it just doesn't.
You know, I mean, if the guy's doing it on national television, yeah, how'd you feel about that? Remember when T.O. did it in Dallas and he ran out to the middle of the field and planted the football?
Oh, yeah,
or when Baker Mayfield planted the flag in the middle of Ohio State?
I just wish Baker Mayfield had gotten the same treatment that T.O. did.
Is this not?
And Darren Woodson had just,
okay,
wow, hit him right at.
I'm just saying, these are basically the same things.
Something I will, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from repercussion. So you do that, but just don't be shocked when somebody responds in kind. I just don't particularly care.
Rich says he was literally going outside while we were saying that.
It's very liberating. I grew up on a farm. Trust me, I'm well aware.
It's the greatest trick that we ever have.
No doubt.
We go on a family hike and they just pull up behind a tree and my wife goes, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm doing that thing you can't do." Just rub it in her face.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
You can't do that. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 letdowns. Let's talk about the letdowns from the first few weeks of the NFL season. Your number one letdown, I guess everyone's number one letdown has to be the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
It wouldn't be mine, but we've already talked about mine plenty. Mine does not need to be referenced anymore.
Well, we knew yours was over 3 weeks ago.
Mine was over 4 plays in.
This one, however, you got Joe Burrow coming back from injury. You picked up the win against the Rams, so at least you feel like there's some momentum here.
But do you feel like Cincinnati's is anything outside of Joe Burrow?
No.
And since you mentioned this, I feel like I have to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an issue with Cincinnati playing him against the Rams? I've heard a lot of people saying that, the calf injury is not going to get better unless you rest it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not disputing anything you just said. But how long exactly are you planning on doing that? Because if you're 0-3, the season's basically over anyway. It's definitely over if you go 0-4, and they play at the Titans this week, who have a reasonably formidable defense.
I understand the question. I understand people having that feeling of, if he's not 100%, why are we pushing him? Don't we need him for the rest of the season? Yes, but you had to get ahead of this thing before it got out of control, and you couldn't come back, right?
And I guess that's where I'm at.
Right, statistically speaking, there's never been a team go 0-3 that came back and won the Super Bowl, right? There's been maybe 1 or 2 0-3 teams that ever made the playoffs. So you had to get ahead of this. And I told you yesterday, I feel like that's what the little cart ride with the owner at practice the other day was you realize, I know you're not ready, but we need you out there if you can go. And he can. Joe is a gamer. He's proved it time and time again.
It also really cranked up
he shouldn't.
It really cranked up my respect for Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already respected Joe quite highly. It was very obvious he was not 100%. It was also very obvious they were going to have to scoop him off that field with a shovel to get him out of that lineup.
Yep.
And that's just, for me, I guess I'm looking around at, you had T. Higgins with the drops on Monday night. You got all these things going against you, and Joe's out there on one leg just being a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I want as my franchise quarterback.
Absolutely. I want a guy who's going to put it all on the line. However, there is the flip side of that. If he had gone out there and gotten re-injured, what in the end would it have been worth it? Look, I
heard that too. Name me the last time somebody had a calf injury that was, and now he can't run anymore. If he had gone down on Monday night, then none of the rest of this matters, because you're not going 14-0 to close out the season, and you're not making the playoffs worse than 11-6. So I struggle looking at that schedule to go, they're going to finish out 11-3.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I don't buy it. That was a make or break situation. If he'd gotten hurt again, all right, we tried it. We'll let him rest it up, and we'll just know that this is probably a lost season. Yeah. I just don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
To me, Cincinnati's not that big of a disappointment.
Okay. All right.
I think you've got an injury that's put you in a bad situation, but I still feel like if he can somehow get that calf back to right in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be just fine.
Okay.
For me, the biggest disappointment in the NFL is the Chicago Bears, and it's not really all that close.
Yeah.
This all set up for you to be at least competitive for a wild card spot. I'm not sure you're not going to have the number one pick in the draft, because I'm not sure you can beat like this. And we've talked about Fields. I'm not even talking about that. Nothing on this team is working well.
No.
You run it reasonably well sometimes. You DJ Moore well from time to time. That's it. The defense is awful. You added all these pieces. You spent all this money. You're still terrible.
Mm-hmm. But did you add all these pieces? That's what I kept asking you in the offseason was, did they really make that big of a difference in this team with the things that they added in the offseason? I mean, Yannick Ngakoue is a name. Tremaine Edmonds, okay, he's a pretty good player. But is that it? Does it just take names, or does it take more than that? And I think the Los Angeles Chargers have shown us that it takes more than just names to get this done.
You have 5 brand new starters on the defense, 3 of whom you spent pretty big money to bring in. You also drafted several guys that are now starting on the defense, and the vast majority of them have been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So
it all comes down to coaching for me. That's where I'm headed with this. Is this just because you added the names doesn't mean it's going to be good. I have to have the scheme to fit it. I have to have the coaches to fit it. I have to have somebody setting a culture, and there's no one in this organization that seems on an intent on doing that.
Matt Eberflus may be the worst head coaching hire of my lifetime.
Worse than Nathaniel Hackett?
Yeah, because I at least understand why you did it. I didn't understand why you hired Eberflus from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone exactly how I thought it would.
It has. I can remember you saying.
It's the stupidest hire I've ever seen.
This is the dumbest thing because you have a quarterback who doesn't understand football, and you're going to give him a defensive
constant
coach.
coddling.
Mm-hmm.
But Luke Getsy, who's a first-time coordinator and has shown to be completely incompetent. But on the flip side of that, if he'd been really good, he'd have been gone in a year anyway. It's just it makes no sense to me.
Yep.
These teams that draft high-level quarterbacks and then bring in a defensive coach. It's just dumb.
Mm-hmm. The Bears have been a big disappointment. I think mainly because of Justin Fields, though, because we all worked ourselves up into seeing the rushing stats from him last year and going, hey, you know what? Maybe this could work. You ease into you get more comfortable in this offense, and maybe it'll work. But something happened, and I don't know what it was. And I'm sure they don't know what it was.
Oh, I know.
At some point.
If they don't know what it was, you should fire everybody in the room.
What was it?
You have literally neutered his ability to get out of the pocket. You're trying to make him a pocket quarterback, and he's not that.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Through 2 weeks, you had 2 designed quarterback runs. That is dumb. That got a little better last week, but not much.
Yeah.
And then you were down by 1,000, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I mean, at some point it feels like something broke there. The Justin Fields that we were hearing from last year, it seems to be a different Justin Fields this year. I don't remember any of this the coaches don't know how to coach me kind of talk last year.
He didn't say that out loud. It doesn't mean that that's not how he felt.
That's true. I'm just trying to figure out what changed from one year to the next where we thought we saw.
The Heat's what changed.
Yeah.
There were no expectations of this team last year. All right, you finished with the worst record in the league. Justin Fields is doing all of these things to win you fantasy league matchups, and all these people are defending him. Now everybody on the planet has turned on him.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I've been actively calling out Justin Fields' apologists of where did you go? And nobody responds.
Mm-hmm.
If they do, it's I was one of them, and I'm sorry I was wrong. I bet we've had 10 of those in the last 2 weeks. So that's what changed. Now the heat's on him, and he's trying to deflect to the coaching staff. I think you're all at fault. This is one of the most disappointing teams I've ever seen in my life. This all set up perfectly for you, and you may finish 2-15.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy. There's several disappointments in the NFL this year. Got a couple more teams to get to coming up after the break. One of them that we will see Toy Story-ized coming up this weekend on Fun Day Football. Jeremy loves it so much.
The season we've all been waiting for is here.
No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Find the brands, inspiration, and great value you need to own your style at Macy's VIP sale, going on now. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off fall trends and updates. Plus 15% off go-to beauty, skincare, and fragrances. Plus shop specials and find great deals on top brands at Macy's VIP sale. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, live in the Ingles studio. Disappointments so far in the NFL season. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars are smack dab in the middle of this discussion. And Jeremy, you said it was, it's all on the offensive line, it's all on the defense? The reason that these guys are so bad?
I mean, that's my belief, yes. In the trenches, they are genuinely god-awful.
Mm-hmm. And is that what's got you questioning Trevor Lawrence?
No,
or is it Trevor's play?
What's got me questioning Trevor is, how do I say this appropriately? Everybody gives him the blip year for the Urban Meyer thing.
Yes.
I'm totally fine with that. How many quarterbacks, even the second year in, are you looking at that are elite prospects going, I don't ever see elite out of you? That's my problem with him.
Did you feel that way about him last year?
I never felt like he was elite last year.
After that 27-0 comeback against the Chargers.
Why were they in the 27? He threw 4 picks and a half.
I get it.
I am so tired of that being used as a – no. Go back and watch that tape because I've watched it 3 times. You're in that hole because of him.
No doubt. But
You
he
came
got him
out of it because of Brandon Staley's absolute inability to run a late 4-minute defense. It was pathetic. I could have come back against that Chargers defense. If that's your high water mark for him, your argument is completely invalid to me. Because that was not him. That was a huge letdown by the Chargers.
Okay.
I'm not saying he didn't have a role in it, but if that's your high water mark, I'm good.
I was gonna say, I mean, he did throw up a damn near perfect quarterback score or whatever in that second half comeback. I get that you say the defense was terrible, and I'm not going to disagree with that. But I feel like most of us came away from that game going, oh, okay, that was a turnaround moment where he was able to have a bad game and then shuffle that aside and come out and win. And maybe that's where we all just got misled. We felt like that would be a breaking point for him. And then they come out this season, and so far they're 1-2. And pretty unassuming in doing so. Now, I think they'll do fine this week against Atlanta, but who knows?
I'm not as sure of that.
We shall see. I guess the last one to mention real quick before the break is New York, the New York Giants. I mean, obviously your Jets, but we know why. But the Giants, are you putting this all on Saquon Barkley?
No, I'm putting this all at the feet of Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
You have not done squat to earn that payday.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I saw that coming, so it's not all that disappointing to me.
Again, that magic that team had last year, the fight that they had last year, doesn't appear to be there this year. And that's what's killing them. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Gray afternoon with some sun trying to get through the clouds, so we may get some blue sky. Not terrible. Unseasonably cool, though. 72. Tonight in the mid-50s, mainly cloudy. Thursday, again, clouds and fog in the morning. As we go on through the day, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially later. 75 the daytime high. By Friday, sun shines back, warmer 77. Looks like it's going to be a beauty of a weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Spring fire season is here, and you are the best defense against wildfires. Make sure to have a water hose, bucket, steel rake, and a shovel for tossing dirt on the fire. Keep your phone with you in case you need help, and never leave a fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
Tired of rising energy bills? Want to reduce your carbon footprint? Do both and increase your home's value when you harness the power of the sun with MB Haynes. MB Haynes installs roof-mounted or ground solar modules that convert the sun's energy into usable electricity. Battery storage allows for nighttime and power outage usage to keep your home or business up and running. The best part? Solar customers are now eligible for a federal investment tax credit. MB Haynes, your trusted solar installer for Buncombe County and the city of Asheville. Head to mbhaynes.com now.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. You can also see us live in the Ingalls studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat. You can throw out, man, just great ideas here.
There is apparently a real push for us to do an uncensored political show a week on Patreon. I am present and accounted for.
I have long lived by the philosophy of give the people what they want.
I mean, I am not averse to it at all.
I mean, unless that one thing that you're asking for is for me, not to do this.
Who's gonna break the news?
Yeah.
Who's gonna break the news?
That's here to stay forever. But.
Oh, so you didn't actually have breaking news?
No, I didn't have breaking news.
No, that's conversation probation. You're not allowed to do that god-awful dance unless you have something to break.
I did not have breaking news there. No, I just wanted to do the dance because, by request. Give the people what they want.
Who requested that?
Jonathan Welch. Every day of his life.
I don't think he did. I've been trolling the chat all day.
That's what a lie sounds like. You want to hear more of that? Tune in tonight to WWNC for the GOP debate. Oh!
There it is. There's his political commentary of the day. Bill Buttigieg said that you make one of those a day. And he's not wrong.
Yeah. Hey, who wouldn't want to watch 7 old geezers talking about who's going to be second place?
Oh, it's not 7. It's not 7 old geezers. You got one young man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You got a young man and a young woman. And, yeah. Now, am I making it a point to watch it? No, sir. No, sir. I'd watch The Machine again. I did enjoy Bird in that.
Okay, thank you. At least that. You poo-pooed on that a lot when I brought it up at the start of the show.
The plot of that movie was just horrendous.
What's hard to believe
I
about
also
that?
couldn't figure out why did they use his wife's real name, but they didn't use his kids' real names.
That I don't know.
I could not figure that out. Did you notice his wife had a cameo in it?
Yeah, she was in it.
Yeah, she was the she was the neighbor he hated.
I loved it so much.
Now that part I did laugh at.
That was my wife's favorite part. Was the fact that he put his real wife in the movie and then called her the B word.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Hilarious.
In the movie. It was great. But
and now that I'm thinking about that, I think that's because all these people literally just took over the chat of we should do an uncensored political show.
Mm-hmm.
I could see you and I doing a show like Bert and Tom do.
Yes.
Where I'm allowed to just be a complete moron because I'm much more of a moron than you, the radio listener, the average listener knows. I'm also way more vulgar than you, the average radio listener, knows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm much funnier when I'm allowed to do that. So, no, I think that could be fun. I was sounding this out as I don't know when we would record it.
Yeah.
But the new time slot has allowed for much more activities.
Indeed, it has.
Everything we do now is automated, which is cool.
Oh, yeah, we may be able to figure that out.
At 3:02, I just hit a button and go, do it! AI, you may take over the world, but you made my life a lot easier.
See, you're part of the problem now. You're part of the problem.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. That will be, by the time AI takes over the world, I'll be long dead. You figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's going to come a lot sooner than you think. But we shall see. There's a thing out there called Starlink now that I'm kind of iffy about. I just don't like the cut of its jib. Anyway. Rolling on with the program here on ESPN Asheville. We will keep the politics to a minimum on the sports show. Maybe save the politics for the after show.
I think it's a grand idea.
Daily draft. That's where we're at. Top of the third hour of the program here. 2:00 every day on ESPN Asheville. Every weekday anyway. Daily draft today, you want to do what? Power rankings in college
football power rankings. Wow. And I'm going to give you the number one pick. Because I want to see if you are honest enough to take who you really think the number one team in college football is.
As if you don't think that I actually think the best team in college football is not my own.
I don't understand how you think that at this point.
Okay, well, back-to-back national championships should tell you something.
Okay, and virtually nobody on either of those two teams is on this team.
That's not even kind of true.
You've got a few hangovers from defense. Do you have Stetson Bennett?
Nope.
Do you have any receivers that worry me in any way?
Brock Bowers.
Okay. All right, I'll give you one.
I was going to say, were there any receivers on that last championship team that you really worried about?
Do you
by the way, Ladd McConkey will be back from injury at some point, and you should be scared of him.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey's 5'7", standing in high heels on a hill.
Yeah, but you know what he's also?
He's real shifty. He's one. Yeah,
I was
know
going to say
exactly what
he is the college football version of Cooper Kupp, which should scare everybody.
And I got it. What you just did is exactly what I was curious to see if you really believed and you were willing to.
Oh, absolutely. It's the GORGIA Georgia Bulldogs.
Because I don't agree with that.
I know you don't.
Way. I still look at Carson Beck and go, you do realize that your first actual meeting with a good team probably comes in the college football playoff.
Yeah, maybe.
That doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. Because I'm looking down college football this year going, I'm not heavily invested in any team except the team that I'm getting ready to take at number one, or with my number one pick. I haven't been overly impressed by any of them. I think they all have flaws. And I see them in Georgia, and I don't think you're the best team in the country.
Okay.
I said this earlier this week, and I will say it again right now. If I had a vote in the media poll, my number one team in America would be the Washington Huskies, and I don't know that it's all that close.
All right. I mean, I get it. They put up a whole
You
boatload
laugh
of
when
points.
I say that because you don't seem to.
Because I haven't seen it. And it sounds crazy to me because the only
sounds
Pac-12
crazy.
teams that we've been talking about are USC and Oregon and, of course, Colorado, which never was in the national picture. But when it comes to the national picture, those are the two you focus on for the Pac-12. I never think of the Washington Huskies.
Where you're going to, and I'm telling you, I want you to remember that I said this, where you're going to understand how good that team is. All right, you just saw what Oregon did to Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, they play at Arizona. Washington's 18-point favorite. I detest laying numbers like that. The over-under 67.5, which might be the stupidest thing combined I think I've ever seen. Washington will beat them by 40.
Okay.
And the reason that I won't touch the over-under is because I'm not scared. I'm not sure they're not going to score 60. I have watched practically every second of Washington football. Not intentionally. I didn't do it on purpose.
Okay.
I just bet against them once, and as I watched it, I went, I'm either the dumbest person in America or Washington is way better than they're getting credit for. And now I can't stop watching it. Michael Penix is elite. Elite. And I'm not sure he's not going to win the Heisman Trophy.
He very well may.
Because he's going to get a shot to knock off the favorite, which is Caleb Williams, because they play at USC. I've watched both of those teams a lot. Washington can hurt your feelings. Because you want to talk about a team that couldn't stop a nosebleed with a roll of paper towels? USC. And Michael Penix has this chip on his shoulder. They've got two really elite receivers, one of whom is going to go in the top 15 of the draft next year. The other might go in the back end of the first round or the beginning of the second. That's a high-flying offense, and I can't say that about any other team in America. Now, think about what I just said. You got a quarterback that I believe will go in the first round. You got a receiver that's going in the top 15. You got another one that'll go in the top 45. I'll be safe. Can you say that about anybody else in America?
No.
There's not another team in America. The only one that has two weapons like that's Florida State, and the quarterback probably doesn't go in the first 4 or 5 rounds. He's a great college quarterback, but he's not – he doesn't project that way. Michael Penix is special, and we don't talk about him because they're a West Coast team.
Yep.
Now, this is where it gets hard for me because I'm really not sure who my 3 would even be. Because I would agree with you. I'd have Georgia 2 based on past experience. I haven't been overly impressed by Michigan. Your first game with Harbaugh back, and it was clunky. You struggled with Rutgers for an extended period of time. So you know what? I'm going to take Texas.
Ooh.
You did exactly what I wanted you to do, which was you went into Baylor and you punched them in the nose over and over and over and over and over again. I love Quinn Ewers. I love this team, and they've lived up to all the expectations I have.
It's started out the season 4-0. You know, I thought there might be a chance that Baylor could give them something this week, and they didn't have it.
Didn't even come close.
They didn't even come close. They didn't have it. We've been waiting for Texas to take that step. And the question is, have they done it now?
You learn a lot about them in the next 2 weeks because they play Kansas at home this week, and then they hit the Red River rivalries next week.
Is that defense going to give up a lot of points to Kansas?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I think that defense is the part of this team that nobody talks about. I noticed it against Alabama. They're really fast, and they really get after the football. So, I mean, am I really gleaning anything from what you did to Baylor, Wyoming, or Rice? No, I'm not. I mean, you held them to 10, 10, and 6. You should have. You should have done that. The Baylor one was the most impressive because you went on the road. But you also have one of the best wins of the year.
Yep.
Beating Alabama. And you get 2 here, you look at the back end of that schedule, there's not a whole lot of losable games there.
Right.
And I feel like whoever, one of the 2 teams you're playing this week's who you're going to play in the Big 12 title game.
Yeah.
So you could be hanging 2 wins over a Kansas team that I really like. Could be hanging 2 wins over an Oklahoma team that everybody else seems to really like.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you went Washington, Texas there because it made my next 2 selections even easier. And they're both from the Big Ten. It's Michigan and Ohio State. You have to put those 2, link those 2 together because they will be, as they have been for the last 3 years, on a collision course for each other at the end of the season. Do I feel completely confident in saying that? Not necessarily. I feel more confident about it in Michigan than I do in Ohio State. There's a chance that they could slip up against a Penn State team that is much better than, teams that have pushed them to the brink in recent memory.
Glad you said that team because I have a feeling they ain't coming back to you.
Oh, Penn State. I knew that was going to happen. But I wouldn't take them over either of these teams.
I wouldn't have taken Ohio State with these set of picks. I might not have taken them with my final pick.
Oh, my. Is that how much you hate Kyle McCord?
He's not a good quarterback. He's just not. I mean, awesome. You got to win over Notre Dame when they had 10 guys on the field. I'm not impressed by you. I look at Ohio State, and my thought on them is if Kyle McCord doesn't get better. Actually, the number one thought that I had for the second half against Notre Dame is if Kyle McCord beat out Devin Brown, how bad was he? You kept telling me you had 2 quarterbacks you felt good about. If you did, Devin Brown would be in this game because Kyle McCord was a disaster. An absolute unmitigated disaster. And then you have one drive because you wound up with a big Travion Henderson touchdown that put you up by 2 scores. And then you just held on for dear life. They took the lead, and you had a drive to end the game where Notre Dame really honestly looked like they had just packed it up to go home. They didn't think Kyle McCord could score on them, and he did. I'm not impressed by Ohio State in the least. I'm not impressed by Ryan Day in the least. His fake tough guy attitude to an 86-year-old man. That I didn't think I could like Ryan Day less than I did before. The fact that Lou Holtz saying that was so upsetting to you when, oh, by the way, he was 100% right. 100% right. You have been out-physicaled by Michigan 2 years in a row. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. They're just for men. You can get as mad about that as you want to and get yourself the old Redis, which you did repeatedly, and get all high cholesterol and high blood pressure in your face. And I'm so mad that I could just conflab it. That's what I couldn't stop looking at him going, he's going full Yosemite Sam right now. And he's right. Lou Holtz is right. Yeah, I don't buy Ohio State. This is another year. Guess what? You go 11-1. You're going to get smacked in the mouth by Michigan. And if you have to play them a second time in the Big 12 title game, you'll get smacked in the mouth by them again.
They very well may. But at the moment, they are still among those in the catbird seat.
And you know what's funny?
The Big Ten.
You know what tells me I'm right about Ryan Day?
What's that?
Is how often I say things like that, and our Ohio State fan constituency agrees with me.
Yep.
It's repeatedly. We love how talented this team is, we can't stand him. Ryan Day is the definition of I was born on third base and I act like I hit a triple.
Yep.
Now, before we go to commercial break,
I'm your huckleberry.
have one of those from our buddy Matt. Super chat. Quick way to get into the conversation here with the show. He said, as a Broncos fan, I got to invest in some brown paper bags to wear for the rest of the season. I actually have thought about unveiling my own line of chic, maybe fashion-forward brown paper bags. With artistic Jet logos on them. So, that's a thought.
Okay.
You have a Bronco one that just says, "Let's ride to the liquor store." I think those would sell quite nicely.
It's the most popular ride in Bronco fandom right now.
Nope. Already told the Tyreek Hill Porter joke today. Can't push that boundary again. Just have to keep that one in my head.
Yeah.
Wait for a day when I haven't said bad things.
Please do. Yeah. All right. We'll continue to talk power rankings from college football and the daily draft coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
This Sunday, the Panthers go for their first win of the season as Carolina welcomes the Minnesota Vikings to Bank of America Stadium. Join me and Ish Schropp along with Jake Delhomme, Luke Kuechly, and Sharon Thorsland. Pre-game coverage on the Carolina Panthers radio network comes your way at noon Eastern. Opening kick from B of A is 1 p.m.
Panther football live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Just because they finish earlier now doesn't mean you won't be satisfied. Beer City's best sports talk, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The Sportsocracy, now noon to 3 on ESPN Asheville.
It's Ryan Seacrest here. Check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. You get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then next year, you get the latest iPhone, and this keeps happening every year. It's Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To switch today or learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250, and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Hey, this is Mike Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast. You heard that right. The Fantasy Footballers have officially entered the Dynasty space. Every week, we bring you the same in-depth analysis and entertainment you've come to expect from the Fantasy Footballers, only now it's from the Dynasty perspective. Join me and the rest of the crew every Wednesday for a new episode. Listen to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
McConkey, the wide receiver from the Giants back in the 80s, made the big catch in the Super Bowl. He is not related to Ladd McConkey of the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia, though, was my number one pick. Yes, I still believe in that team. Jeremy goes Washington and Texas atop his power rankings. And then I went with the Big Ten teams, Michigan and Ohio State. Now, we talked about Ohio State. We really didn't talk about Michigan in that last segment. I mean, with Jim Harbaugh being off the field, it really didn't seem to affect him all that much. Of course, they played no one.
The toughest team you played in that stretch was the Fighting Mike Houstons. And yes, defensively, you are awesome.
Now that he comes back, they don't have another challenge on their schedule until they get to Penn State, really.
Yes. And that is going to be nanners.
I mean, you talk about a ball rolling down the hill. It's just going to be steamroll after steamroll until that showdown in Happy Valley. And I don't really see anybody stopping this team.
I don't either. The winner of the Big Ten is going to wind up in the playoff. It's just a question of who escapes this either undefeated or with one loss. Because it is possible that one of these teams loses in the regular season to a team, then plays the Big Ten title game, and that's the one that goes because they win there.
Mm-hmm.
That is on the table because I do think two of these teams are really close.
I was going to say, unless we end up with undefeateds from every other conference. And then that could get interesting.
I don't think that gets even remotely interesting.
Really?
Whoever wins the Big Ten you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia is going because nobody in the SEC can contend with you. The other two spots are really interesting because I could see a path that Texas is undefeated, Florida State's undefeated,
and Washington.
And somebody in the Pac-12 who I think will be Washington. And then it becomes, we really should have done this 12-team thing a year earlier because this is going to be a problem.
Right. All right, so who's next for you?
For me, Penn State's next because now you have that thing that you never had before, which is a quarterback. Drew Aller is a dog. He's everything he was billed to be and possibly more. You run the ball well. There's a lot to really like with Penn State. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. I love the running game Nick Singleton is one of my favorite players in college football. Is there breaking news?
Let's finish this because it has nothing to do with this.
And you're right,
it has
Drew.
to do with something that we don't usually talk about.
And you're right. Drew Aller is for real quarterback. Best you've had at Penn State since Christian Hackenberg. Sorry, I didn't mean to say his name.
We don't say that name around here.
Kerry Collins. Does that make you feel better? Can I say his name? It's the best quarterback they've had since him.
Yes.
So, I love Penn State. I've always liked James Franklin, and I feel like this is it. This is the year. Like, this is what you've been building to. You've been trying to sell to us since you were at Vanderbilt, that you could lead a team to the promised land. And this might be your best shot to do so.
We usually don't talk about this sport, but this is big enough that we got to give it at least 2 minutes.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
We have a Woj bomb.
Oh.
The Portland Trailblazers are trading Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wow.
Lillard goes to Milwaukee as part of a 3-team deal with Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tamani Kamara, a 2029 unprotected Milwaukee first-rounder, and pick swaps in 2028 and 2030 going to the Blazers. Phoenix gets Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson.
Woo. Now, this is a big deal, Damian Lillard going to play with the Freak.
100%.
That is a huge deal, and that turns the power shift there in the Eastern
I
Conference.
had started hearing that the Bucks were involved in this yesterday and that this was going to get done in the next week. I put zero faith in it. I am dumbfounded how little they got.
That was my woo at the end of that.
Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton and some picks down the line. Sweet. The market just never developed. It never developed. He's in his early 30s, but this opens up a title window for Milwaukee. I would say they're the team to beat in the East now. Who's better?
You got to stay healthy. Yeah,
no.
I mean, on paper, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, like, we felt that, right? We felt this way before, and then we saw what happened when Middleton went down. We've seen what this team looks like without Holiday. Now, obviously, Holiday's gone, but it's always been a problem. This definitely puts you at the top of that power ranking, of the NBA power ranking.
That's a big old biggin. Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's going to be so good to finally see him get some respect. Because I feel like he's always been disrespected being in Portland.
He has, because he played with me, you, and three dudes from accounting.
Right. The fact that Dame time ever became a thing in the first place speaks to how great he is, because he lives in Siberia of the NBA.
Wow.
Him in Milwaukee is a big deal.
Portland, T's and P's.
Yeah.
Because woof.
Yep.
All right,
back to the power rankings here, college football.
That's what the NBA gets around here. Hey, one of your best players got traded, you got 2 minutes on the clock now.
And go.
Back to power rankings. Do you want to recap where we've been?
Yeah. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State for me. You went Washington, Texas, Penn State. Who is your 4?
You know who my 4 is.
Yeah.
You know who my 4 is.
Should have had it pulled up here, because if you didn't do it, I was gonna.
Your 2023 college football champion, Florida State Seminoles. Have you had 2 games where, that didn't go well? Yeah, but you have to look a little deeper into that. Playing the red bandana game against Boston College, they're always formidable there. It never fails. I would never have bet it had I known that, but I didn't, which is my fault. You always should check that with Boston College, because they play one of those at home a year, and they only had 7 home games this year. The one at Clemson, you went in Death Valley and beat Clemson. Did you deserve it? No, maybe not, but you did. You did. You didn't play particularly well. You went into Clemson and beat them, and you have now dispatched of Clemson because they are now completely irrelevant in the ACC.
Yes.
You are now waiting to see which team between Duke and Carolina only loses 1 game. Because Clemson now needs Florida State and Duke both to lose 3 times, and I don't see that happening.
No.
This has Duke, Florida State, ACC championship game collision course written all over it. I was at the last one. It did not go well for Duke.
And this one probably won't either.
They had a slew of fellers wearing full suits and bow ties, and they got real sad real fast.
Although, I don't know. They could hang in there with Florida State. Do y'all play them in the regular season?
Duke?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't think so, but we might. I remember there were a couple games I looked at and went, those are still.
You do. You play them in 3 weeks.
Let's go.
October the 21st.
Let's get that win over Notre Dame this week. So that's still a reputable win.
All right. So you guys don't have a game this weekend.
No.
And you go Virginia Tech, Syracuse. Then you are home against number 17 Duke on October the 21st.
And playing at home is drastically different.
Yes, it is. And by the way, you still have a date with Miami on that
and
schedule.
Florida.
And then Florida at the end of the season. So, you guys have a great shot to run the table in the ACC. I don't think there's a team that's going to challenge you in the ACC championship game.
Challenge is a strong word.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, like, it might look good on the scoreboard, but for the most part, it's going to be like, okay, that's the champion. We know who.
Well, the good thing for Florida State is they get a bye week, then they get 2 that don't have the talent to contend with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you struggle in either of those games, my red flag meter just goes through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out in a few weeks how you can handle Duke.
Yes, because Duke's got a good quarterback.
And if it's Carolina, do you guys have a good offense?
Yes.
Florida State by 50.
Yeah. That Carolina defense is not
right.
That's not. You don't want to see those Seminoles, not even a little bit.
Right. So Carolina, no, they don't have the defense to stop your Florida State Seminoles. All right, we're running up on the break here. We take another break, and then we'll continue with the power rankings next here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Gray afternoon with some sun trying to get through the clouds, so we may get some blue sky. Not terrible. Unseasonably cool, though. 72. Tonight in the mid-50s, mainly cloudy. Thursday, again, clouds and fog in the morning. As we go on through the day, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially later. 75 the daytime high. By Friday, sunshine's back, warmer 77. Looks like it's going to be a beauty of a weekend. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
The biggest stars in all of music shared the stage at our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Brought to you by Capital One.
Let me hear you.
Foo Fighters.
Fall Out Boy.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kane Brown.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Durk.
Lenny Kravitz.
Miguel. Public Enemy.
Sheryl Crow.
Travis Scott. Tim McGraw.
TLC.
30 Seconds to Mars. The most massive live music event of the year.
See all the action now at iHeartRadio.com/festival. And get ready to relive it with an iHeartRadio Music Festival special.
Streaming on Hulu next month.
It's Ryan Seacrest here. Check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. You get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then next year, you get the latest iPhone, and this keeps happening every year. It's Boost Infinite, infinitely better. To switch today or learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250, and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Marine litter is often the result of poorly managed trash on land. To help prevent trash from escaping from your outdoor trash bins on collection day, keep the trash bin lid closed. Don't overflow it, and put it out for pickup shortly before the scheduled pickup time. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
I keep asking myself that one age-old question, Jeremy. Why the hell don't we have football on Wednesdays? Don't tell me there's Maction, because I'm not doing that.
Really?
Don't tell me that.
I mean, I've tried to get you involved in Maction for many years now, and you just you put your fingers in your ears and you refuse.
Absolutely, I do. Is there Maction tonight?
Not tonight. No,
that?
no, we're not to that point yet.
Oh, is that only like mid-season?
I'm actually looking now to see when that starts. I know it's not terrible. It's next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, next week you get the Fighting Rich Rodriguez's of Jacksonville State at Middle Tennessee.
Yes.
And the P. Diddler himself, New Mexico State against Florida International.
The P. Diddler. That sounds terrible. I will never say that phrase again. At least not on FCC airwaves. It's the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Daily draft. We're still slagging with the
100%.
daily draft.
And
here.
we have a super chat as well.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from our buddy Soren Eagle that said the Blazers are expected to immediately engage contending teams on trade talks for Drew Holiday, per Woj, which means you got DeAndre Ayton and 3 picks that are currently in math, the 6th grade for the greatest player in the history of your franchise.
Well, I mean, at some point, all good things have to come to an end, right? And that one was, 5 years overdue? Damian Lillard should have left there 5 years ago and gone to a bigger market. I feel like it's a win for Portland that they've been able to keep him this long.
I would agree. And it's a win for him that he finally got out.
Absolutely, because now he gets to go and claim a title with the Milwaukee Bucks this year. Although to do that, you're going to have to take that away from
your 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets.
Oh, I thought you were for sure going to go 2024
No,
on
I'm
me.
not ready to do that yet. Not that time yet.
It's not going to speak it into existence just yet.
We just take the one we already have for a while.
Yeah. The daily draft today, it's basically the power ranking of college football, where we see all of the teams currently as they stand. I still have Georgia as the number 1 because I'm a homer, and that's what I do. But, I mean, back-to-back national champions and still the odds-on favorite in Vegas to win the national championship again. You're gonna have to take them off of that off the top of the totem pole for me to say anybody else is up there with them. Now, there are teams getting close. Washington is a team that I have not seen yet, but Jeremy's been hot to trot that they're the number 1 team in the country for the last 2 days. So I'm going to have to watch some Washington football now, as they have an amazing offense with Kalen DeBoer leading the way up there. Where did he come from?
Fresno State.
Fresno State, that's right. Washington, he was his number 1. Then he goes Texas. I turned around with the 2 Big Ten teams, Michigan and Ohio State. Jeremy goes the other Big Ten team in Penn State, and then Florida State in his top 4. Now it's my turn at the turn, and I hate that I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it because I have to take Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks and then the USC Trojans. I couldn't do this any other way. Oregon has one of the best offenses in the country. They also have one of the best defenses in the country, statistically speaking. Now let's look at who they played. I get it, okay? They gave up 7 points to Portland State, 6 to Colorado, 10 to Hawaii. Yeah, they gave up 30 to Texas Tech, so that wasn't great. But when you have one of the top 10 offenses and one of the top at least 20 defenses in the country, you deserve to be on this list. They have a lot of challenges in their way, though, because they've got Washington in 2 weeks. And then they got Washington State after that, Utah, and USC, and Oregon State at the end of the year. You're going to have to run that SEC-type gauntlet as far as top 25 opponents is concerned for you to get there. Can they stumble? Sure. But they've got to be on this list, as does the USC Trojans, with Caleb Williams and talented offensive players galore. The question about them remains the defense, right?
They're horror-awful defensively. I mean, horror-awful defensively.
And that's why I've got them last. Because to win a national championship, you have to have a well-rounded team. I feel like we've shown that in the last few years.
Yes, and you got too many teams up in front of you. I'm not saying I wouldn't have had them. I understand why you took them.
Mm-hmm.
You've just got too many teams up there. Penn State, Florida State, Texas, Michigan, They can score and they can play defense.
Exactly.
You can score. You can't stop anybody any good from scoring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think USC is really going to struggle with anybody that scores.
Somebody look at
asked,
that Washington game.
Washington is that's one that would keep me awake at night if I was Lincoln Riley. I don't believe in Colorado, but I also don't believe that you can stop them. Oregon showed they can stop them. I'm not as confident that you're going to see that. And Travis Hunter is begging to play in spite of the fact that Deion Sanders up to this point has still said no. Now, that means I've got one last selection. You're going to tell me I'm crazy. I'm still taking Notre Dame.
Okay.
I still think they're the 10th best team in this country because I would take them over Utah. I would take them against Alabama, and I'd take them against LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in Oklahoma and North Carolina can't stop anybody. That's your top 15 in the AP poll.
I get your rationale. Absolutely.
I still think Notre Dame is and the funny thing is I don't really believe in Ohio State. They went into Notre Dame and beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I also look at that game and go, I don't know why Notre Dame was so ill-prepared because offensively they look completely clueless for a half. And then they figured it out. You know, if they had started the game the way they started the second half, I don't really think that game would have been the same story.
Okay.
And I do ding you for that, but I just don't believe in anybody to enough of a level to put them in there.
Right.
If you had to add one last team, who would it be?
I was just getting ready to say I don't really know that there's another great contender in this group.
There's one for me that's going to be a headache for. They're going to be a headache for some good teams. The problem is that they play two that I think are better than them.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
Washington State.
Really? Okay.
They play at UCLA next week, coming off a bye. The other games on their schedule are Arizona, Arizona State, Stanford, Cal, and Colorado, which is arguably the worst teams in this conference. You play at Oregon, you play at Washington. I can see a path you beat Oregon. I don't think it's going to happen, but I can see the path. Mm-hmm. I don't see a path that you're in a rivalry game going into Washington and beating them.
Yeah.
But they are. I do believe they at least deserve to be mentioned.
If I had another one, I would have to go with LSU. Because they still run the table. They get into the SEC championship game. They beat Alabama later this year, which, I mean, if Alabama takes the turn that we all think they might, back to top echelon after having the little setback, I could very well see where LSU's back in this discussion.
I have a funny feeling they lose in T-Town to Alabama.
And they very well may. But at this point, they're the only one that I can look outside of the ones that we've already taken. The 10 that are on here, that's the next longest shot to me.
One Nation Underground in our YouTube chats asked, is Ibuka the wide receiver 2 in this next class behind Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Ooh. I mean,
he's not for me, but
I'd say he's probably close. I'm not the draft guy, so I haven't really taken stock lately of where my prospects are at the moment. But I know Jeremy's been watching. You've been studying up for a mock draft, haven't you?
I have. For me, Rome Odunze is my 2. Then you get into Keon Coleman, I would have ahead of Ibuka. And then it would either be Ibuka at 4. Mitchell from Texas is up there pretty high. I think I would have Ibuka ahead of him. So I'm probably going at 4.
You got AD that high?
He's up really high for me.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Texas has 2 that are up there pretty high for me.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State's got another one that's up there. This is a really good receiver class.
Did you say Worthy?
He was the other one from Texas that I was referencing.
All right.
I'm higher on Rome Odunze than most people.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I've watched him play 4 games, and I'm not sure he's been covered once. There has yet to be one time where I went, man, they should have thrown that ball to him. Usually it's, how do you keep letting him get that open?
Mm-hmm. I know there are some scouts that are high on Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors, I like him. I just need to watch him more. I've been burned by you know my history with LSU receivers.
Yes.
So I watch them with a much more fine-tooth comb now than I used to.
Yes, coming from the same guy who said that Justin
I'm gonna
Jefferson
punch you in
needed
the
to
face.
start a paper route.
I'm going to punch you in the face. Didn't say that. Didn't say not every bit of that.
And did you say Johnny Wilson?
It hasn't been a great start to the year for him.
Okay.
I've got him in the second round now.
There's a lot of people who really like him.
Oh, he should. He's 6'7" and can move pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
The season just hasn't started well. Could that change? Absolutely. It's always unsettling to me when a guy that's been in an offense for a year allows a guy that hasn't, that just showed up late in the spring session, to pass him on the depth chart, and it's not even close. Keon Coleman could end up going in the top 10. That's how good he has been and continues to be.
Yes. Your Florida State Seminoles are a very talented team.
They're good at football.
Yeah, they are. Finally, right?
Who asked me who the number one edge in the class is?
4 years.
Yeah, ask me who the number one edge in the class is, because it's not even kind of close.
Jared Verse.
Yeah, by a lot.
Okay. All right. We're preparing for a new week in college football. Another week in the NFL. We've got a big-time NBA deal just been made. Nobody really cares.
No. You chose a real weird time to do that.
Right.
You should have made that trade in July. When somebody still kind of cared.
Ryder Cup's coming up. Are you excited about that?
It starts at 1:30 in the morning.
Yep. Don't even.
Oh, I'll watch it. I love the Ryder Cup.
I don't care. It's all about football. And on days like this, you just miss your old friend. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pre-game ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on Around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, and there will be football to talk about tomorrow. Thursday night football.
Thursday night football.
That's right. We got, the Packers and the Lions tomorrow night. In Lambeau?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be a good old good one.
Yeah. That should be absolutely fine. College football, they're talking about the playoff again because there's a meeting going on about the format. So they're discussing other things, but also the format has come up to be a big discussion here. So we're moving to the 12-team structure next year.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
The closer we get to this, the more I'm like,
Which is weird because I thought you were the one that said you didn't care.
I was, but I'm looking at the way this year lays out of there's not a team
he cares.
I care now because it's not, hey, who's the lamb being brought into slaughter by Georgia? There are actually 8 teams that I could legit see winning a national title.
Mm-hmm.
Now, next year I may feel completely different when it's Georgia, Florida State, 2 others, and then we have to manufacture 8 other teams to put in this.
Right. Now, the format that they're debating is what we talked about after the Pac-12 dissolved the first time. Was the way it's supposed to be now is we've got the 12-team playoff, and it's 6 and 6. 6 highest-ranked conference champions get automatic bids.
Yep, that's dumb.
And then you go with the 6 highest-ranked at-large teams after that.
Yeah, that's dumb with the fall of the Pac-12.
Thank you.
Dumb. Do you know who those last 2 teams would be?
Mm-hmm.
Right now it would be Fresno State and Tulane.
There you go.
That would be your 2 extra conference champions.
Out.
Get out of here.
Yes.
AAC, we don't care about you in the first place, so you can try to swing your weight around and say, I won't agree to it. You better. I highly advise you do agree to it. Because right now you would be cutting out, let's see, just based off the AP rankings, you'd be cutting off Notre Dame and Alabama for Fresno State and Tulane.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. Now, I know there are 5 conferences right now, but all these teams are being reallocated next year.
Yep. Now, when they agreed to the 12-team playoff last year, they agreed to the 6 and 6 model. But now the push is to change it because the Pac-12 is no longer a Power 5. The idea was to have the number 1 group of 5 school get an automatic bid with the 5 Power 5s.
And now you'll still have the number 1 group of 5 get a spot, which is what we agreed to.
Yes.
We didn't expect there to only be 5 conferences.
Right. Now you'll just have the Power 4 and the group of 6 champion will end up getting the automatic bids under the 5+7 rule. Well, they agreed to 6 and 6. And so it takes a unanimous vote to change the deal. So everybody's got to be on board. And the commissioner of the AAC is the one right now that apparently publicly anyway is standing out saying, why would we do this? We've already agreed to the 6 and 6 model. The contract, I guess the TV contract, comes up for negotiation in 2 years. And then we can talk about changing the format. We've already got the 6 and 6 because because he's the guy, right? He's a commissioner of a power or of a group of 6 school or conference. So why would I agree to this?
Teacher, pick me. Let me tell you why you should agree to this.
Okay.
And my hope is that he is smart enough to be posturing out loud because his constituency needs to hear him say that. Do you know how many group of 5 schools are in either poll right now?
One
combined. It's Fresno State, and they're not in the coaches poll. So you can fight this all you want to, but there's a good possibility you can fight it. All right, you're right. It has to be unanimous. So we'll go 6-6 for 2 years, and then guess what? We'll cut you out completely.
We'll go 4-8.
Because if I'm the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC, I don't need you. The top 24 teams in America are in both polls belong to us. We're bringing you in here as a courtesy and nothing more. The whole landscape has changed. You have never been more irrelevant than you are right now. Because if you go down the rankings, there's only a handful of Power 5 schools that got a vote, let alone deserve to be in the top 25. This is one of those times, and I said this, and you can attest to this. I said this about the Pac-12 when they wanted to swing their weight around. Be real careful. You're not that important, and you can be completely excommunicated here pretty quickly.
Yep.
And they were. Do you not find it weird that all of these conferences have deals with major television vendors? ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, ESPN. It's weird. None of them offered anything to the Pac-12. Find that to be weird? You shouldn't.
No.
You shouldn't, because I've long said these commissioners went, let them die.
Yeah.
They want to think they're a big boy? Let them die. And now you have, 4 teams? They have 4 teams in the top 10. You almost cannot find their games on television, and the conference is dissolving in 3 months.
It came at the most inopportune time for them, too. I mean, think about it. 2 years ago, if the Pac-12 had 7 teams in the top 25 like they do now, would we be having this discussion?
Probably not.
Yeah, we wouldn't be having the discussion.
Well,
oh, God, the Pac-12 is going away.
I don't know. You might have.
Maybe.
Because I don't know that you would have ever gotten the money behind it. Yeah. And the Big Ten and all these other conferences would have been interested in these programs that are good.
Maybe.
So, yeah, I don't know that that's exactly how that would have been.
They all would have been more reticent to leave, though, knowing that we've got a conference.
The money was never going to be close.
That's true. That is true. All right, you got a good point. Maybe I'm crazy. The 6 + 6 or the 5 + 7, whichever one. I mean, you got to go 5 + 7.
100%.
But that's just me. You know what else you got to do? You got to tune back in here tomorrow for Threadbare Thursday. All of your Thursday night picks as well from Flostradamus, Jeremy Green, right here at noon on ESPN Asheville. We will see you then.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Gray afternoon with some sun trying to get through the clouds, so we may get some blue sky. Not terrible. Unseasonably cool, though. 72. Tonight in the mid-50s, mainly cloudy. Thursday again, clouds and fog in the morning. As we go on through the day, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially later. 75 the daytime high. By Friday, sun shines back, warmer 77. Looks like it's going to be a beauty of a weekend. For the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, it's the big one, AC Reynolds at Asheville High. This game always goes a long way in deciding who will win the MAC championship. We'll find out Friday night which team takes a step in the right direction. Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show is at 6:30 with a kick at 7. On AM 1400, Tuscola is back at home, and they will be hosting North Henderson in an important conference battle. Cowboy John Rote and the gang will be with you starting at 7. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
Careless debris burning is the leading cause of wildfires in North Carolina. Before you burn, take a look at the weather and avoid burning on dry, windy days. Never leave your fire unattended. You are the best defense against wildfires. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on to WWNC.com and go to contest, and you can sign in to make your picks. Each weekly winner wins a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. Make your picks now.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Have a little bit more success early.